All right, all right. What is good, everyone? What is good, everyone? I hope everybody can hear me clearly. Hold on, I gotta close my door real quick. All right, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to the stream. Today we got a great show for you guys, like always. Very excited to talk about various different stuff when it comes to gaming. We are going to be going over quite a slate of what's called of topics and different things. I took a little day off. I needed it. My eyes are actually, the Sharingan is recovered like 90%. Like I'm at like 90% Sharingan level. I think I'll be able to go to distance tonight if we get our combo breaker. So I'm ready to go tonight. I'm ready to talk about topics. I'm ready to bust misinformation, but I'm also ready to be your #1 consumer advocate, because at the end of the day, the real people, the real content creators that are actually for the consumers don't rush into misinformation. If you're for the actual people out there, you will be diligent, you will be intelligent, and you will do your time in order to really show that you want the best for the consumers, and the best is the truth. The best is the truth. We got a lot of people out here that are looking to cash in on Nintendo Switch hype, even though they themselves didn't support the Nintendo Switch 1, told everybody to pirate Switch 1 games or screw them, crying and complaining about game prices about $80 while telling people to pirate Metroid Prime for $40, even though that was priced great. These people are gaming grifters. I don't know how to do it, how to say it in a better way, but I am your consumer advocate, because I will strive to get you guys the absolute truth and break down things analytically without ranting and raving like a 4-year-old that needs to play dress up, you know, to try to sound like they know what they're talking about. So we're going to go over the actual facts. And that's what we do here. The facts. We try to do that at least. If I'm wrong, I'll catch an L. I'll take it like a man. Unlike some people. Some people can't take when they're wrong. They can't take it. That's okay. I can. If I'm wrong, I'll say, hey, look, my bad. I was wrong. People know that about me. But some people can't. They haven't grown past that mentality and mindset. Intellectually, probably about, you know, maybe 10th grade, 15, 16 years old. Haven't grown past that mindset, but the body keeps growing. So we're going to try to do our best to, one, be fair, but at the also same time, be critical when there needs to be critical, and, make sure that we call out what we feel, like the Mario Kart price or like whatever the case is. So we're going to do that here. I want to make sure that I establish that very early and often for anybody clipping or everybody watching or streaming. Say here, you call me all the names that you want, but I've invited anybody here to come through, and we can debate and discuss and talk gaming, and we can talk, and you can come and prove it right here. You can come and prove it. I've already invited. So we're going to do this the right way, and I think heading into the next generation, the right way is always the best way. I haven't always been perfect in the past, but damn it, I'm going to be perfect, or I'm going to try to be perfect at this point. And like I said, as a consumer advocate, I'm going to make sure that if there's an L to be taken, I'm not going to belittle those people that are actually trying to help me out and say, hey, look, OJ, this is how it is, you know? So yeah. Like Final Fantasy 16 sales. What about Final Fantasy 16 sales? I was right about that, though. I was right about Final Fantasy 16 sales. I was actually right about that. So, we have not gotten an update from Final Fantasy 16. In terms of the sales numbers. So unless you want to tell me what I was wrong about or whatever. Shout outs to Minato Mario with the 66 months for real. Heck, I saw no actual recent video. Spread misinformation, not verbatim, but as large as anyone disproving misinfo is Nintendo fanboy. Yeah, once again, like, there's really nothing else that I need to say about him. There's really nothing else I need to say about Alex. He can do his own thing. He's gonna, whatever, say what he wants to say. But I think I did it. I completely racialed him on Twitter. One thing. Completely, absolutely racialed him on Twitter. And two, once again, I made him look silly because he was wrong about something, and he has to begrudgingly say, oh, well, but then also add caveats like, oh, misinformation. It's like, come on, man. Just admit that you're wrong and move on. Like, I don't understand why you just can't admit that you're wrong and move on. You were wrong. And if something else comes out, let's say they are tied to your account, then you can come back and say, aha, I was right. But for right now, you're wrong. So, but for right now, based on what the information that's out there, you're wrong. So just take it like a man. And he's a full-grown man acting like, you know, acting like he can't realize that he was wrong. Cyber Torch with a $50 party, man. Beat down. Let's go, Cyber Torch. Let's go. We've got some other donos coming in as well. Gonna miss JoJo Friday? Oh no!
Going to miss JoJo
it's
Friday
okay.
Tomorrow night. Got something planned with the kiddo. So since you're recharged, let's go the distance on the stream tonight.
You are my friend. I know so that my demo. Go the distance, baby. We need to put that in there, right? When we hit the goal, it's you are my friend. We need to do that. We totally need to do that. Big love to Sharpedo with the $5. Says OJ Twitter streets are saying you got cooked by PlayStation fanboy yesterday. Is that true? Cooked by a PlayStation fanboy? Who's the PlayStation fanboy that I got cooked by? I don't recall getting cooked by any PlayStation fanboy. What's up, OJ? Caught that voice chat the other day. Are you tired of chasing him moving the goalpost so much? Hope you're well. Tired of chasing him moving the goalpost. Oh, in the Twitter space? No, there's, yeah, are you talking about Toxic? Yeah, Toxic definitely moved the goalpost a million times, but once again, I will say this. I will invite any of these people that have something to say or want to debate, discuss, or talk. I will invite any of them to my stream. We can do a dual stream. I will invite any of them to come here and talk. For any of these content creators, if they're cooking, I'm here, you know? Like, I am here. We can discuss. I would love to have a conversation with any of these people that say that I'm wrong or I'm getting cooked. Feel free to come prove me wrong. Not your edited videos or your videos where I don't get to speak back, but come here where I can actually talk. Or, like I said, we can do dual stream. The court is open. Feel free. I haven't gotten any requests. I haven't gotten any requests yet, unfortunately. I have not gotten any requests. Let's see here. Cybertor, shout outs to the 2 months. Switch 2, Me Too, Month 2, Ninja 2. Let's go. Shout outs. Like for telling us his last video, he says intro showing Nintendo camera is racist. Clip from the Spawncast, but his vid is full of misinformation. Well, yeah, I think he was just joking. I don't think he had a problem with that. You know.
A lot of my time into something that I don't like or hate.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. We're at 60 on the board too, guys. I got to do notifications. Let's go. Let's hit some overclocks. Actually, we're already at the 1 hour, but let's hit some overclocks first. Yeah, but like I said, they're not gonna like it. They might even buy one, but right now, since they don't like Nintendo, here's what we're going to do. We're gonna do this. You know, full of misinformation, full of whatever, you know, all that good stuff.
Overclock Buster!
That stuff. What's good, OJ? That crazy chat room on Twitter. Yeah. Like, apparently, people were insulting Toxic in the chat to where he had to mute people multiple times. And then he blamed me. He blamed me for some of you guys act wilding out. I'm like, bro, don't blame. I'm like, what? No, that ain't not me, bro. I ain't claiming nobody. I ain't nobody's shepherd here. Hold up. Let's see. Jeffrey Tucker says guilty as charged. My bad. No, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Like, but that's not my fault. No, he was blaming me. I'm like, bro, that ain't my fault. I can't control what somebody else say. Let's see. I was in that space. I only listened. Yeah. Let's see. Said, yeah, he said my goons. I would have loved for someone to try to debate you players just watching you destroy these folks' debates and slayers. Like I said, Flydius, the table's open. Anybody who wants to have a civil discussion, debate, like I said, no hard feelings. Like you want to get animated, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, like me and Toxic, we're so cool to the point, he calls me Unk. You know what I'm saying? We're cool to where even if we disagree or we talk over each other, I'm not going to hate him. It's like, because it's just gaming. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? So, and we had a nice debate. Shout outs to Justin and Caitlin. Shout outs to Cybertaurus. You're the Hokagen Street Ninja. Anybody does $50 or more, you beat up my man, Cybertaurus. But we had a nice discussion and debate, and I felt that I did pretty good in the debate. I think by the end of the debate, they were all just listening to me. They were all just listening to me and saying, oh, okay. And it got to the point to where they had to kind of make more jokes because what I was saying, in my opinion, was backed up by actual truth, right? It was when someone starts doing red herrings and starts saying, what about this, is because they have no answer to what you're talking about right now. Steam Deck, $400 Steam Deck versus $450 Switch 2, they're cutting corners. How are they cutting corners? Oh, well, the memory's not as good. I'm like, it's stronger. What are you talking about? Like, it's significantly stronger. So they're literally trying to make it a good price, but at the same time, beef up the system. What are you hyper focused on the memory when literally it's only $50 more and it has much better tech inside of it, or a good bit better tech inside of it in terms of the power of the system? Tensor cores, DLSS, 120 hertz screen. Obviously, you can run games at 120 frames, stuff like that. So like, what is the problem here? How is one of them getting fleeced and the other is a good investment and everything? Now, if you want to factor in Steam and how you get whatever, let's see here, how you get like games on Steam and things like that, sure, you can factor that in if you want to, but that's not what we were talking about at first. It was just the value specifically of the system. Like I said, if you want to buy a $2,000 PC and you think that $2,000 PC is going to get you better value, I agree with you. I even said that myself. Yeah, Steam is great value if you want to, get cheaper games and all that. However, I combine that with like, listen, we kind of also need people who are buying games normally on these systems. Otherwise, the gaming industry will shrink. If everybody's buying super cheap games on Steam, I think that if there wasn't consoles, Steam would be far more pricier. You know what I'm saying? Steam is a good alternative in terms of things, but the gaming industry would be smaller. There'd be less people making games because that's just one factor. Not everybody likes PC. Some people just might stop gaming just in general. So having consoles, having people buy things, having whatever, like that helps build everything. Like it's good for the overall. Now, if you want to be selfish and only think about yourself and PC 24/7, then okay, that's fine. But once again, I don't have a problem with people calling out things in terms of pricing. If you feel the pricing's bad, that's not a problem. Like, I've never said that that's an issue. You can voice your opinion on it. The only issue that I do have is when people start spreading misinformation due to stuff, right? And that's where it's kind of like crazy. And then if you clear up the misinformation, they call you shill, they call you fanboy, they call you names. And then when you invite them to say, okay, well, let's debate it, let's come talk about what's the problem here, they don't want to do that because they're going to look stupid. Because ad hominem isn't an actual argument. It's just not. Just saying you can call somebody a fanboy and it works on Twitter or it works on your stream. But if you come here and you try to say that, I'm like, oh no, like your complaints are valid. Oh, you're worried about the price? I agree with that. All of a sudden the fanboy claims and the shill claims and all the nonsense that you make up to try to sound cool to your audience disappears. Because I have the same issues that are actual legitimate complaints as anybody else. What I don't like is the misinformation. You know what I'm saying? And you'll be exposed for misinformation. And that's the reason why people don't want to come on. Is because they're going to be exposed and they're going to realize that I'm not crazy, that I'm not just shilling over everything. You guys know that watch my stream, you guys know that. I made a whole video on Mario Kart. I've made videos on things that I don't like, what I don't like, what's good, what's not good. You guys know that, but their audience doesn't know that. So if they come on here and they see and like they give me that platform to show their audience that I'm actually perfectly normal and for consumers and for people, then that would destroy their narrative for videos in the future. So that's why they don't want to come on. Even I offered Olive Branch, come through, let's talk. You can dual stream it. You want to talk, we can discuss. And no offers, no DMs, no emails. So it destroys their narrative. That's why they won't do it. So let's see here. How it makes Nintendo show videos about Sungrand Studios. Can't get Sungrand a break. Yeah. Let's see here. Bro, just fan, I want to tell you, man, keep doing what you're doing. Keep it real, my brother. Big fan. Thank you so much, Mystic. I appreciate you. Yo, Zoo with the $10. Let's see here.
I've got around a half hour if you want to have a debate on Switch 2.
We can do debate on Switch 2. If we're going to do it, though, let's set it up. I've got a great plan. I got a birthday stream coming up. I don't know if I should do my birthday stream on Sunday or should I do my birthday stream like on the Mario Kart World stream. I don't know which one I should do. I'm still debating when the birthday stream will happen, but it's going to happen soon.
Some people just want to put in a
shout out
game
Zoo.
and play. Also, Nintendo doing good only helps Steam Deck because it probably wouldn't even exist without the Switch.
Yeah, shout outs, man. I mean, listen, and that's part of it too. Like I said, I think that the fact that I called out, the fact that I sold my Steam Deck and the fact that I made a video on it really pissed some people off. But I don't know why it did, because the video was completely tame. I said that the Steam Deck's great. It is what it is. I'm not the one who's not trying out other systems and other games. I'm not the one who's telling people to pirate everything. I'm not the one who's bashing Microsoft and Sony 24/7 in videos and spreading misinformation. I'm not the person doing that. It's not me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of these other people that have no idea about Nintendo, literally claim or say, I don't play their games, I don't know about it, but I'm gonna rant and rave and hoop and holler for attention when I don't play their games. I barely know their business. I barely am financially literate myself, but I'm gonna sit here and scream and hoop and holler and go through all these different things to make myself look like some type of consumer advocate or some type of smart individual, when really, like I said, I have the brain of someone who's about 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what some of these people are. They really don't know economy. They don't know business. They don't know manufacturing. They don't know anything. But if you rant and rave, and if you hoop and holler, and if you say I'm a consumer advocate and I'm this, and you do all this weird stuff, you can convince really dumb people that you're looking out for them. When you're really just looking out for yourself, you're just looking out for yourself. That's it, really. And that's what I find funny with some of these people. You know, if you truly are looking out for consumers, have a discussion with intelligent people that want to talk to you about all the issues, so we can come to a good understanding. We can come to a good understanding on everything. That's what a real consumer advocate would be like. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's get the right information into everybody's hands, and then the market can make their own decision. To me, that is what a consumer advocate is. I say, hey, look, we can have an open discussion. We can talk about whatever, and we can come to common ground. As gamers, we can come to common ground as content creators or as people, and then we can say, okay, yeah, that's good, that's not, you know, this and that. We can explain things, and it can be all good. Like my discussion with Toxic on Twitter. We can kind of come to look. We still disagree, but at the end of the day, we said it's all love, man. It's all good, and we can come to some common ground or some discussion as gamers. That's what a consumer advocate is, because we're not talking to the companies, we're not talking to the businesses. I come here and talk to you guys every single day, and I say, hey, you guys make your own decisions on what you guys want to do. Don't let somebody, just because I'm in front of the camera, tell you 100% you've got to do this or that or whatever. You guys, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys can do what you guys need to do, you know? Shout outs to Caitlin and Justin, though. I appreciate it, man. The logical endpoint is that everyone should just be on Game Pass and stream games to your phone if you want the best deal. I think the best deal is obviously going to be subjective, because we are creatures. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are creatures of habit, but we're also creatures of very different minds, bodies, souls, and stuff like that. Your experiences growing up are going to be very different from other people. And I think the problem with content creators and the problem with misinformation is that they think everyone should feel very much like them. So if they're not very much like them, let's start with the name calling. Let's start with the shill. Let's start with the fanboy. Let's start with this. Let's start with that. Because you're not like me. My path is the righteous path, and your path is corporate, is shilling, is this. And it's like, well, no. People have different opinions. That's why it's good to have discussions, and we can talk about that and come to common ground, or we can debate and discuss what's going on here, like what it is. But once again, a lot of these people don't want to do that, because once again, it destroys their narrative. I'm not afraid of anybody destroying any narrative that I have, because I don't really have one. I have one of what I like. I like RPGs. I like Nintendo. If you like Microsoft and Sony, great. I'm happy for you. Have fun. Buy their systems. Enjoy. If Sony prices The Last of Us completion at $110, I don't care. You buy it or you not. You buy it or you don't buy it, man, bro. I do not care. I am not going to flip out on Sony repackaging The Last of Us. I don't care. I don't care. I have both games. I play both games. I don't care. If you want to go buy it, then go buy it. That's what a real consumer advocate is. If you want to go buy their Last of Us scam collection, then go buy it. Who the hell am I to tell you not to go buy something with your own hard-earned cash and money? That's a real consumer advocate. I do not care that Sony is repackaging the games. If they want to repackage it. Quadruple package it. Package it. Wrap it up as tight as you possibly can. If you don't like it, then don't buy it. If you think it's a good deal, or if you've never played the games, then it's there for you to buy. Then it's there. If you think it's overpriced, then rant and rave on videos that it's overpriced. I do not care. What people, if you want to do that, then that's fine. That's what's called being you can spend on what you want to spend. I'm not going to sit here and make a bazillion videos about repackaging of old games that you can already buy for dirt cheap. I don't care. Like, Why are people positioning themselves as some type of lead bank manager or freaking overhead pocket watch? These overhead pocket watchers. These overhead, like I said, can barely hold down their own bank accounts, but want to pocket watch people online over stuff. It's like, dude, take care of your own finances. Make sure that you pay your rent, your mortgage, or whatever, your mom's tab, whatever the case is. It's just silly to me. It's very, 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 very silly, and it's exhausting to sit here and see people constantly acting like the world is falling over a game price. Okay? You can buy it or you can not buy it. You can be disappointed if you want to be disappointed. That's fine. You can talk about it if you want to. But acting like World War III is going to start up because of a price that you don't like is silly. It's silly, and it will always be silly. Just don't buy it. You can rant and rave if you want to, but it just looks weird, man. It really just looks weird, in my opinion. As a consumer, if you have not played The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, and you want a complete edition with some nice goodies, and you want to say, you know what? It's time for me to get into The Last of Us. Then go buy it. If you want the physical, then go buy it. They're good games. I played The Last of Us Part 1 and 2. If you want a cheaper route, here's how it's being a real consumer advocate. If you want a cheaper route, you can buy the games individually, right? You can buy the games individually, and you can probably find The Last of Us Part 1 and 2 physical for cheaper than that. If you buy them on the or the PS5, or you want to play the original PS4 version if you want, which is a HD remaster of the original version. There's many ways to go about it, you know? There's many ways, and to me, provide all those options for people, and people can add and subtract. We all have calculators, and you can decide what the best option is for you. And that's it. It starts and it stops right there. And that's about as far as I'll go. So yeah. Announced pre-order date. I missed something. Yes, so pre-orders. Let's talk about pre-orders, guys. Pre-orders could be starting up pretty soon here, because the whole tariff situation has been paused. Now, China got hit with some crazy tariffs, but most of Nintendo's manufacturing is out of China, or a lot of it's out of China and in Vietnam. The Vietnam tariffs were paused right now for 90 days because President Trump said something along the lines of people were getting yippity, he said something like people were getting yippity and afraid. So all of you Nintendo Switch 2 users out there that were yippity or yippy, I don't know what he said. He says some type of old, you know what I'm saying, Jim Crow type of, I don't know what it was, but it sounded like something from like 1940, like or something yippy. I don't know what he said. He said they're getting yippy, or they were getting afraid. So for all of you guys that were getting yippy and afraid, we gotta thank him for that. You guys let him know that you're yippy and afraid. Uppity. I forgot what he said. He said something. I'll open up my Twitter. I posted it on Twitter. What Trump said. He said something along the lines of so yeah. Zoo with the another
Anyone who is
$10
like a financial expert on video games is silly ass. That said, I do not understand how this product will fulfill the mission of expanding the audience. I only see a shrinking audience. Some Nintendo's fault, others the outside world.
This system can only expand the audience if it lasts for like a really, really long time, like longer than the Switch 1. Which it could if they do like a Switch Pro system or something like that. It could definitely last a long time. It's going to be tough though, because of economic conditions, some of it on them, some of it not on them. But the problem is that this is the system that everybody, for the most part, wanted. Okay? This is the system that everybody wanted in terms of tech, in terms of everything. And you're seeing that instantly with the games. So, for example, Zoo, I was on the podcast with, and shout outs to Dior. Thank you for the $2. It says, yippee, guys. There we go, yippee. Shout outs to my man Dior. Shout outs to Zoo. The problem is that the technology isn't coming down at a rate fast enough for inflation and all of the other things that are factoring in. When the Switch 1 came out, the Switch 1, things were in a better spot overall. But there was, make no mistake, by looking at the third-party support, the Switch 1 would have literally been abandoned by almost every single third-party developer out there. Instantly, from day one on Switch 2, you got announcements of the brand new 007 game coming. You got Hitman. You got Cyberpunk. You got announcements of Final Fantasy. You got the Kimetsu whatever. You got Wild Hearts. You got all of these games that passed up Nintendo Switch or weren't going to be announced for Nintendo Switch, all of them were announced. In the podcast that I did with Toxic, he tried to say that, oh, well, that was the same thing that people said with Switch 1. And then I tasked him with saying, well, go look at the Switch 1 launch lineup. Do you know what it is? He said, no, I don't remember. And I said, exactly. You don't remember because there was nothing there. There was one big game, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. There was one real AAA game at the launch of the Nintendo Switch 1, and it was Breath of the Wild. Developers saw the power. Developers said some good things like, yeah, we're going to have some stuff, and they did. They ultimately ended up bringing some stuff out with severe compromises, but the compromises that they made and trying to get the system on there, it took way more time. Look at the time. These developers got their dev kits, and they had ports up and running quickly. They had ports up and running, whereas with Switch 1, you had to get a whole different team sometimes. You had to really take your time, whereas now the ports can actually come over far better. Even with PS5 and Xbox Series games, you can port them over. Now, they're not going to run at the same fidelity as an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5 Pro or a PS5, but they're going to be significantly better with the development pipeline and atmosphere than what we saw, which was definitely different from what developers were saying with Switch 1. From the very beginning, they were saying, hey, it's cool tech, we're going to look into it, but they were not saying, okay, it's easy to port and all. They weren't saying that. They were just saying, hey, look, there's some good tools, we can work with it, but it's going to take some time. And that's the reason why it took a considerable amount of time to actually get a AAA library like Mortal Kombat and Doom and Skyrim or whatever, right? It took some time. It took effort to get to there. Whereas day one on Switch, you've got Split Fiction, you got Yakuza 0, you got like all these games that were on PS4 or PS5 or whatever. So to sit here and say it was the same thing, it is not. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, we're going to be supporting, and then it's nothing to actually have the proof is in the pudding. You actually see, okay, there's Street Fighter. Oh, dude, with Switch 1, we got Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, or we got Street Fighter 2 Super, we literally got a Super Nintendo game or whatever. We got like the PS3 port. We didn't get the actual big Street Fighter game, Street Fighter 5.
Versus an oven.
You know? Shout outs Caitlin and Justin. Shout out Zoo. Big love.
Poor developers. Don't care. Make hardware for ME. I'm the one who bought 400 plus games.
Okay.
Not the devs and journos who get free games.
That's true. And that's why I still buy my games. You know, and that's why I still buy a lot of my games. But here's the thing. And I like this discussion back and forth. Here's the thing. Do you want to get stuff like Split Fiction? Do you want to get Cyberpunk? Do you want to get, and maybe some of you guys don't want Cyberpunk. Do you want the new 007 game that's coming? Do you want Hitman? Do you want, Street Fighter? Do you want Final Fantasy? If you want all this, you can't just say, we're not doing a new system. We're doing Switch. You're going to lose all of it. And on top of that, the way that development works is that you have to make your decision multiple years ahead of time. You can't just say, we're not going to develop. It's going to cripple the company. And I talked to you about this, Zoo. If they just said, we're not making Switch 2, we're just going to support Switch 1 forever, developers would just leave them behind. They were already leaving Switch 1 behind in terms of things. They were already doing that. So, because think about it this way. Here's another way of doing it. Have you guys ever used an editor, right? Have you ever used an editor on a really bad PC? Have you ever tried to edit on a bad PC? Maybe this is a lot of you guys probably haven't done this, but if you try to edit complex videos on a really bad PC, it's like pulling teeth. But if you have a PC that has more RAM, that has a better graphics card, sure, a bad PC and a good PC can edit videos. But the better PC can do it significantly easier and better and more efficiently and cheaper than the bad PC, where you're going to take more time, it might crash more, it's going to cause you problems, you might not have all the tools that you need available, and that's what it's like working with games. With games, you need to have really good overhead to help. I have a strong PC, I have a strong edit. I pay for my editing software. Some people say, what, you pay for editing software? Damn right I pay for editing software, because I want the best tools, I want the best ways to create content, not only good for you guys, but as fast and as efficient as possible. Back in the day when I made videos, and I'll get this here.
Nintendo-owned games were starting to struggle. They even need more power.
Yeah. Back in the day when I made videos for you guys, my PC was so bad, it would take me 4 to 5 hours to edit one Player Essence news video. That's how bad my PC was back like when I first started doing it. Now I can edit videos. I mean, I've perfected the process, but I can edit videos in 2 hours or so. The processing is so fast. Before, if it's a 15-minute video, it would be sitting there in the processor or the editor. It'd be sitting there for processing for like an hour. Now the video's processed in like 10 minutes, you know? So
sorry that these
yeah.
cost developers had to optimize on the Switch one.
So I think that's the biggest situation here that we're looking at it, Zoo. It's that you just can't keep using the same tools over and over. You need to upgrade. You need to get better. You need to advance. You can't stay behind. You just can't. And Nintendo makes so much money off of third-party software. Developers were saying, hey, look, we got to move this along. And Nintendo also admitted that they couldn't make what they wanted to make. A game like Donkey Kong Bonanza does not happen on Switch 1, in my opinion. It just does not, because it does terraforming instantly in high resolution and frame rate, at least 1080p, maybe even higher, and 60 frames per second. Like, with the quality and like you can just burrow into the ground at any point. You can take it, and there's all sorts of particles and effects. It would look significantly worse on the Nintendo Switch 1. Or a game like Mario Kart World, having a full open world Mario Kart game, you probably couldn't do that on Mario Kart on Switch. So if you want to make something that's better than what you're doing, you've got to at least advance your tools somewhat. There's got to be some type of increasement, or you're always going parallel and you're not going forward, you know? So that's my take. My take is that shout outs to Cyber Taurus, Cyber T, thank you for that $50. Shout outs to Zoo, appreciate all the donos. Shout outs to Caitlin and Justin. Let me read some of the donos. Huddy says, I can attest to being a consumer advocate. Your Steam Deck video reminded me that I hadn't played mine in months. Just sold it today. Oh, wow, I got set up. I was thinking, okay, yeah, let them know, hey, look, Steam Deck is still good. Steam Deck is awesome. It's good. He said he just sold it. He said, I gotta sell it. You remind me to sell it. Oh, man, that's funny. Thank you for the $1 dono. Look, I'm a consumer advocate. You guys can buy and sell whatever tech or whatever. I am not going to criticize people. You want to sell your Switch for a Steam Deck? Okay, go ahead. You want to sell your Switch for headphones? Do I have my headphones? I don't have my headphones in here, but these are the ones I use to go running. You want to sell your Switch for a Naruto headband? Here are my headphones. Here they are. You want to sell your Switch for a cup of water? You want to sell your Switch for this water or a PS Vita? Who cares? I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys. A real consumer advocate is not going to bash you guys over some money decisions that you want to make and what you want to play. I'm not you. We're no Mimiozomes here or anything like that. I'm not controlling you guys. So real consumer advocates are like, hey, look, you want to sell your whatever for whatever, that's fine. If you're whatever your justification is, that's cool with me, man. We're here to have fun. We're here to play games. Whatever games you play, let me know about them. If you sell your Switch and you buy something else, what are you getting? PS Vita? Let me know what games. I got a video on PS Vita for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get salty over that. And I've never, when people come here and say, oh, I'm selling my Switch or I got something else. I know my man Nick S says he sold his Switch for whatever. I said, oh, that's cool, man. Maybe you'll get back on with Switch 2. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to play dress up, you know, and act all weird and goofy and start calling people out for selling their own system and tech for something else. Even if the reasons are bad, or even if I deem the reasons bad, that's not something that you should do to somebody else. Let them make their own decisions. And if it sucked or if it's a bad decision, you live and you learn. Anybody here play Sonic? You live and you learn. Then it was a bad decision. That's okay. It's no big deal. People make bad decisions all the time. It's just video games. It's just video games, you know? So yeah, man. Shout outs to Zoo though. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate you guys. Let's go. Saying OJ, I sold my Steam Deck on eBay. Yeah. Inferno, how much did you guys, for those who sold your Steam Decks, how much did you guys get for your Steam Decks? What's up, Gucci Dolphin? I sold my limited edition OLED too. Oh, your limit. Yeah, I sold my Steam Deck OLED. I sold my Steam Deck OLED. Let's see here. Caitlin, and just another $3.
I sold my Switch for a hot dog and a bag of chips. Lol.
A hot dog and a bag of chips. Oh man, that's crazy. Hey, look, you gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? You gotta eat. So if you sold your for a hot dog, you gotta eat. That will help you out for the next night or so. So you won't have to find the next meal, you know, for a while now. So once again, it's one of those things to where that's just how it is. Amazed by the Switch 2 is that it's more like a PC gaming machine. 4K up to 120 frames, DLSS, HDR, mouse support, VRR, 2 cooling fans. I mean, geez, bro, Enigma, I told you this. I didn't expect the Switch 2 to be over $400 because I didn't know it was going to have if you would have told me that the Switch 2 was going to have 4K 60, it was going to have freaking 120 hertz and VRR. I did not count on 120 hertz VRR and also built-in NVIDIA background removal camera technology. I didn't count all that. If I would have known Nintendo was putting all that in, I would have bumped up my prediction to $450 to $500. Although I did say, when you guys said 450, I did say that's possible, but I did not anticipate a 120 frames per second screen. Now, yes, not all games, the major big PlayStation 5 ports are probably not going to run at 4K 120, probably not even close. Probably more like 30 frames per second or 40 frames per second. But Nintendo's first party games, we're going to get 1440p, we're going to get upscaled 4K, we're going to get 120 frames, we're going to get 60 frames, we're going to get 4K 60 on maybe like Switch 1 ports. We're going to get some good stuff. We're going to get some really, which once again is better than what they did before, because remember, Nintendo in the past, their games would be 30 frames or they'd be 60 frames at 720p, or they would be pretty, you know, it wouldn't be that pretty at times. Like, yeah, the, you know, Smash Brothers or Mario Wonder, you know, the 2D games, we can get that. But even Metroid Dread was like, what, 900p 60 frames? You know, it wasn't even the full 1080p, which it's not that big of a deal. But now now if they port over Metroid Dread to the Switch 2, or if they update it, we can get 1080p 120 frames, or we can get 4K maybe, or 4K 60. You can't do 120, but 4K 60 with Metroid Dread. It's nuts. This is exactly what people wanted. Everyone had been saying this is what they wanted. A little bit of buzzkill with some of the stuff, some of the things that came out, but the hype is not going to stop for this system. People are going to buy it. And on top of that, a lot of people aren't realizing this. Japan is a completely different atmosphere than here. In Japan, everything's priced better. Everything's priced better. They have cheaper Japanese alternatives because of it's a Japan only system. They have all sorts of stuff. So in Japan, it's going to dominate overall. Like, it's going to sell, I think, almost as good or just about as good as the Nintendo Switch 1 in Japan. Everything's Gucci in that country. Remember, Switch 1 sold 30 million units plus. In Japan, the system's priced like $350. You know what I'm saying? Or $300 to $400, or $350 to $400 for the system in Japan. And the games are priced like $60 or 60 something dollars. So in Japan, everything is Gucci. They're going to buy the hell out of this system. It is going to be a blockbuster. So even if there's lowered sales here in the West or whatever the case is, there might be in Europe and whatever, Japan is going to be, it's going to be a 30 million unit plus seller, in my opinion, in Japan. I don't think it's going to stop. The Switch 1 is still selling better than every other system in Japan. So we're going to get a minimum. The floor for this system, in my opinion, is 50, not even 50, it's probably like 60 million. That's the floor for this system, because Japan's going to be about 30 million. And if you want to split it up, what, 15 per each region, that's still low. But I'm going to say about that, like if we're going to at the lowest. So Mike Sean Williams with the $5 dono says, hey, OJ, I was thinking about this for a minute now. Metroid Prime 4 has to sell successfully, and I hope it does sell more than Dread. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's going to be on the biggest install base ever for a Metroid release. So that's good. It's on Switch, and it's on Switch 2. So I think that this is probably one of the better environments, and it's running incredible frame rates and resolution on Switch 2. So I think that this is an opportunity for Metroid Dread. Now, or sorry, Metroid Prime 4. But I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I think the floor is 80 million. I mean, the ground zero floor, Dash. I think you're more right about the 80 million. The ground zero, absolutely, Nintendo messes up their release lineup and all that, is 60 million, 50 to 60 million. The real actual ground would probably be like, you're right, like around 80 million, you know? A price drop? No, I don't see a price drop if sales slow down. I just see them bundling more things with it. Like you get like an extra game or two. Shout outs to Aries EMS with the 10 gifted memberships. Hey yo, thank you so much, Aries EMS. Let's see here. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Nintendo being cruel to their customers. It's closer to 600. I'm staying with my Switch Lite. I don't think it's 600. It's 450 to 500. So I mean, I don't know where sales tax you're at, Lee Martin, but it's not 600 at all. I don't know where you're getting that price, unless you live in Europe or something. Pink, or in certain parts of Europe. Pinkratina, Darrell, Bit Goblin, JH, Alvin Caballeros. What's up, man? Surgical Fixer, Damon, CBH, Safari's Secret. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Oh my God. Thank you so much, man. You are the gift ninja. Let's go. Thank you so much, guys. Pink Potato with the nice is ready for these Switch 2 games if I can afford them. I would say this, Pink. Take your time. All right. You don't have to buy everything day one. Take your time and budget. Take your time and kind of budget and, you know, go as like, here's the thing. There's also going to be a bunch of Switch 1 updates too. So if you want to play Mario Odyssey or if you want to play some other games, there are going to be updates as well. And you can also trade in stuff too. So keep that in mind. I know some of you guys don't like trading in, but there's also trade-in options as well. Or there will be trade-in options like at GameStop and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. Shout outs to my man Aries, EMS, and Pink Kratina. She's so awesome. Make sure you guys go watch her stream. Her stream's awesome. She streams on Twitch, I think on TikTok and stuff too. She streams on lots of places. So go check out Pink Kratina. She is awesome, trust me. And she has like the coolest accent. Like it is like seriously like the coolest accent ever. I wish I spoke like Pink Kratina. Seriously. All right, let's go here. Shout out, thank you for the big 10. Appreciate that. Gonna grind. Hey, there you go. There you go. Hey, what's up, Neo Blitz? Even when Nintendo admitted they need to upgrade their console for more gameplay opportunities, they knew the assignment. They knew the assignment. Even Nintendo said we got to upgrade. You know, Nintendo. They said that we got to upgrade. And listen, the Switch lasted a long time. It's a decade. That is a long time, man. Like a decade or near a decade is a long time. It is such a long time in tech terms. It was time. It was time to upgrade. And even this is an upgrade, but it's not like they're breaking the bank on this, you know? It's not like it's a PS5, you know, Pro or something like that, right? I think it's a good upgrade. One developer described it as a mid-tier PC if you saw my video today. And that's about what we need for right now. For the next 4 or 5 years, it's going to be pretty good. And then after that, people are going to say it's old and it's not good enough, you know? But for right now, it's good. Maybe there's a Switch Pro in those number of years. But tech isn't getting any cheaper. Tech is not getting any cheaper. So yeah. Thanks to your Steam Deck video, I have an extra 400 in my pocket selling mine ready for Switch 2 pre-order. Yes, sir. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let's go. I saw a tweet from predicting Switch 2 is going to sell over 21 million in its lifetime and ask others what's the odds. But may say it's impossible, but Switch 2 will flop. Yeah, there's no way that it's going to sell 21 million. I think I know who you're talking about. That guy's crazy, by the way. But yeah, there's no chance in hell that it sells only 21 million. That's never happened. There's literally in the history of gaming, that has never happened to Nintendo. A system with Pokemon on there, 20 million, never happened. In terms of mainline Pokemon,
my disconnect is
never
nobody
happened.
worries about how hard my job is.
Mm-hmm.
I am expected to do my job for the maximum amount of customers.
Mm-hmm.
Why are these game devs any different? I'm tired of overshooting the market to subsidize their easy work.
It's not even about that. Like I said, Zoo, it's about what you want to accomplish, what you want to accomplish with your game, what you want to do with your game. Like, honestly, there is a limit. Like, there is a limit to gaming. Like, some games you can port over and they work well on Switch and they can do a good job, Zoo, but others, it's just not feasible or possible. So, for example, you can't run Final Fantasy VII Intergrade on a PlayStation 2. You can try to reconfigure it to do it, but the chances of you getting that done is very, very, very unlikely. Could you try? Sure. But the tools and what you need to build that type of game is almost impossible. You know? Now, I'm not saying that all the Switch ports are impossible, but from who I've spoke to with developers, which I've said this before, and I said this even during the Switch era, and I said this even before the Switch era, that's why I said port begging doesn't do anything. They will do it if they can, if it's feasible, and if it's going to be profitable for them. Those are the ways that they're going to do it. But it's not a plug in A to plug in B. Game development is difficult, it's long, it's arduous, and it's just and a lot of times it sucks. You're overworked, overstressed, and you're underpaid in some sense, right? You're underpaid in some sense while the executives make all the money. So, in my opinion, from the developers that I've spoke to, which I do have developer friends, I have people that even some of you guys see, some of the developers come to my streams, right? So I'm not going to say who, but you guys know that there are a number of developers that have reached out to me, that have DM'd me, that come to my streams and watch because they want to see the vibe and they want to see the feel of what the consumers are saying. And they see me as someone, oh, okay, this guy is logical. That's why I do have a lot of indie developers and people coming to my stream or watching. I have bigger developers. Obviously, they can't chat or if they're using pseudonyms, but I've had bigger developers, big Switch developers come here to see what you guys are talking about, to gauge, you know what I'm saying, and talk to me about different things. And the one thing that I've heard a lot, you know, we all have heard what MVG said about different things, and he's more of the smaller developer, but he could, if he really wanted to work for EA or work for whatever, Activision or work for Microsoft, MVG could easily do that if he really wanted to, but he likes his position, is that memory bandwidth, is that the overall RAM count and things are too difficult to port over some more of the ambitious games, or the game is going to be low quality. It's going to be low quality in sound. It's going to be low quality in resolution. They're going to have to do all sorts of things, and people are just going to clown it. You know, there has been some games that have ridiculously low resolution, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for example. The devs tried as hard as they could, you know, but it's just the system in portable mode at the clock speeds that it runs at, it's very difficult to render the open worlds and to render everything and get everything going and looking as good as possible. Even Nintendo's first party developer with Xenoblade 2. Or even if you look at Xenoblade 3, look at the resolution when you get a lot of people on screen and when you activate the chain attacks and stuff like that, and it blurs down to like 340p or something like that. Now, they do a good job of keeping the consistent frame rate, but the frame rate is dipping into the 20s. Sometimes it tries to correct itself, but these are the type of things when you realize, even with your first party games, the best developers on your team, if they're dipping into the 20 frame rate, and if they're having to blur things down to 340p, like, at some point you've got to realize, okay, like, in order to get the next Monolith Soft game done, or in order to get the next major title done, we have to advance past what we're doing. We don't have to break the bank. We don't have to go into PS5, pro territory. We don't have to do all that, but we've got to do a bit better than what we're doing now, you know? So yeah. Does it really even need to be said? Zoo feels that they should break their, I don't know. So they should do even if it's a really bad port, they should just port it. Or they should just never move on from the Switch. Just keep the Switch around for forever, which that's just not feasible. And any developer that I've talked to, it's just not a feasible thing to say. We're not going to advance tech. We're going to just keep the Switch around for years. And that's just not, it's not a logical option from every developer that I spoke to. Because Zoo, I took what you said, and I thought about it myself too. Well, could they theoretically just support Switch for a while? And every developer I said is like, Switch works for smaller things. So like Hades, for example. Hades 2 is coming to Switch 1. So games like Hades, Guardians of Azuma, Rune Factory, these type of games will still come to Switch 1. Nintendo's still supporting the Switch 1. They're supporting the Switch 1 well into 2026. They're supporting it. Metroid Prime 4 is coming. There's going to be games, but you cannot stand flat-footed. You cannot hold back everybody else, even your own developers, for the sake of trying to grind out Switch 1 sales. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. And every single developer told me the exact same thing, was that makes no sense. If you want to make games on Switch 1, make games on Switch 1. But why should you hold back, what you can do? Why should you make less money when money's out there to be made? Street Fighter and all, these games aren't coming to Switch 1. They're not going to spend 3 years porting Street Fighter 6 to Switch 1. They're not going to spend that money doing that. It's just not logical to do that. You're going to get huge cutbacks. You're going to get huge cutbacks. You're going to maybe have to do 30 frames per second. You can't. Look at Mortal Kombat 1, right? Mortal Kombat 1, they did a little bit better job, but I mean, come on. Like, that's just not the product that you want to, like, do you guys want to play Mortal Kombat 1? I mean, most of you guys don't want to play Mortal Kombat 1 at all, but if you're going to play Mortal Kombat 1, do you really want to play it on the Switch like that? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I grew up playing Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch, God bless them, they did their best. Shiver, Nintendo now owns that studio. But I mean, let's just be real here. Like, that is going to be the result of the games in the future. You're going to have significant problems. And Shiver, by the way, isn't lazy. They aren't lazy. We don't know Switch. They know Switch architecture. They know it. They like it. They made Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 was great. So they know the Switch architecture. That's the reason why Nintendo purchased them. But even technical savants at Shiver, had problems with the porting process of Mortal Kombat 1 because of the hardware. And that's something that I stated. Listen, everybody stated this, um, you're gonna lose your audience. The developers are going to say, "Well, I'm good." They're just gonna say, "You know what? Switch is great, but we're not gonna spend the amount of time and resources and all that to make Switch teams and to start, spending millions and like having ports come out late and having to delay." Look at Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal needed to be delayed multiple times because even the gods at Panic Button had problems getting Doom Eternal running at a stable frame rate in somewhat decent quality. Now, it's an impossible port, and it's great for what they were able to do, and I said that in my video. But even Panic Button had significant problems with Doom Eternal, So, you gotta move on at some point, Funny thing is that Mario Kart World might end up being the most expensive Mario Kart game, but still use half the resources of the most AAA games. You know what? AAA is a wide range, right? J2, AAA can span from a wide range, so it's always interesting to see how people categorize AAA. But hit that like button. Categorize this stream by hitting that like button so we can get 500 people in here. If 120 people hit that like button right now, we will get way more people in here. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. NBA 2K is awful on Switch. Yeah, I don't know how NBA 2K is, William. I don't play it, and I have not been looking at the chat in terms of everything. I'm so sorry. If you guys want to talk to me, I will spend 100% of my time talking to you guys in the chat now. Sorry, I was on a little tangent. Give Nintendo credit, considering the rumor is true that they might start launching the Switch 2 at a loss. Yes. It's a estimation from a securities system. But you don't really need that security system to tell you that tech is expensive. Look at the tech in the Steam Deck. Steam Deck is sold for $400. The Switch 2 tech is better. It is better power-wise than Steam Deck. So I don't need a securities firm to tell me that they're probably going to be selling at right even or at a loss, because Steam Deck is sold at, I don't think it's sold at a profit. I'm not even sure if Steam Deck sold at any, like the $400 Steam Deck. I don't know if it's even sold at a profit. Maybe a slight profit, but probably not. You know what I'm saying? So even Steam Deck is not sold at any type of significant profit or anything. So yeah, Switch 2 is stronger. It's got better tech. It's got it's got HD Rumble. It's got all these cool features, mouse mode, and different things built into it. Remember, when you have to detach something, here's my Switch. When you have to detach something instantly, that right there, then having to create mechanisms to lock in place and to do things, that already makes manufacturing more expensive. For example, a Switch Lite is cheaper to manufacture than a Switch V2, right? Because there are no sliding pieces, there are no moving parts, there are no separate things in the manufacturing process. Okay, the Joy-Cons are right here, the system base is right here. With the Switch Lite, it's just one module, it's just one form factor, so it's cheaper to manufacture. Switch 2 is, you've got sliding moving pieces, you got multiple manufacturing processes that you have to do within the base of the system. So it makes it even a bit trickier to manufacture and make with the Joy-Cons and with everything, getting them packaged together, shipping, all of that type of stuff. Just makes it more expensive. So that's the situation that, that Nintendo's dealing with the Switch 2, So yeah. Metro Prime 4 is going to be 60 frames per second on Switch. Bad ports are just bad ports. They aren't indicative of the hardware, budget, time, pipeline, crunch culture, among other variables. And I get that, but what I'm trying to tell you guys is that even Nintendo's best developers have had problems. So you guys are saying, oh, well, yeah, Metro Prime 4. Okay, well, what about Monolith Soft and what I just told you guys about Xenoblade? What about Shiver? Shiver is a Nintendo Switch port studio. They were a specialized Nintendo. They know the hardware. So I see what you guys are saying. I get that. But even Nintendo's developers were having some issues. For example, Super Mario, Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury, 30 frames per second in portable mode, 60 frames with dips in docked mode. So even Nintendo's top developers, Mario Odyssey, great looking game, runs stable most of the time, but that was not locked at 60 either. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all had to make concessions and things. Now, obviously Nintendo's developers are better at it than other developers, but even Nintendo's first party developers and dedicated port studios had trouble. So I see what you guys are saying. If Nintendo's studios had zero trouble, and if dedicated port studios had zero trouble, I would understand a bit more. Okay, keep the Switch going longer, whatever, it's just lazy. But Nintendo's own teams and dedicated port studios also had problems. So do they suck too? Are they bad? Do they not know the hardware? Is there so much crunch? Like, I get what you guys are saying with the bad ports, But Nintendo's own studios had to make a lot of cutbacks and concessions and have had issues, which they've detailed. Look, Koei Tecmo knows the Nintendo Switch hardware. Look at Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Okay? Look at that game. And listen, could they have done a better job? Of course they could have done a better job. But that's Nintendo's own working with them. Koei Tecmo, they made Fire Emblem. They've worked with Nintendo hand in hand with hardware and software for decades now. They've been with Nintendo. They're not Nintendo haters. They're not Nintendo noobs. They know what they're doing. They make all their games for the Switch. Most of their games are on Switch. So it's not like they're dumb and they're stupid and they don't know what they're doing. Come on now, guys. Nintendo's own developers are having problems. So are we really going to sit there and say and blame it on third parties when Nintendo's also had issues themselves? Look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Okay, maybe Game Freak sucks. Game Freak's trash, right? But that's still under the Nintendo umbrella. They're still hand in hand working with Nintendo. And now we have a port, or we have a 1080p 60, or should be improved for Pokemon ZA and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming, you know?
Sup Ninja family.
What's up, Shinru?
Hope everything is well for everyone. Finished playing Metroid Prime Remastered for the day. Here's to hoping we can pre-order NS2. Formatted my OG Switch to trade it in when it's time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much with the $5 dono. Shout outs. I love it. Dude, Age of Calamity was my game of the year, and the comment section roasted me alive. And I even said in my video, I even said in my actual what's it called? In my actual video for Game of the Year 2020, I said it probably shouldn't be Game of the Year, but this is just what I like to play. I love the combo system. I love what they did. Like, I love the story, even though it's a what if or whatever. I still love the story and love the game, you know? But that's Nintendo. Like, Nintendo worked with them on that game. So it's like, you're trying to render out, like, the problem that they had was, like, the grass system, because, like, they used, like, Breath of the Wild or whatever, right? The grass system combined with all the enemies cooked the CPU in the game. Just cooked it. Nintendo gave me the DLC. I tried to play the DLC and I'm like, I can't go through this again. Like, I tried. I picked it up, I played it, and the frame rate was it got to the point, like, listen, I already played 70 or 80 hours of this. I love the game, but I'm not doing this again. I'm not going through this again. And like I said, I'm not a frame rate graphic stickler. You guys know that I'm not. But I mean, like, enough was enough for me. Like, I can only take so much with that. Same thing with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Playing through the DLC, I'm like, listen, I already played through 70 hours. I got through what I like, but I can't go through this again, like with the DLC. Like, I can't go through all of it again. So it's like, at some point, you've got to upgrade, you know? So yeah, while my number one gaming priority is the pre-order Switch 2, we do have Clair Obscure around the corner. Yes, Clair Obscure is around the corner. Facts, near the end of the life cycle, Switch ceiling really started to show for the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, exactly. Like, thankfully I never got Pokemon trained. Yeah. OJ, I was watching your Xenoblade 4 video. You said that it will come out in 2025, but it's only 4-year development cycle, minimum development cycle, usually 5 years. I mean, I think that the development started, I think, in, 2021 or so. I thought they would be announced in 2025. Announced. Not necessarily come out, but announced. So, yeah. Shout outs to Canada Best. Thank you for watching my video. Age of Calamity and Bayo 3 give me bad taste in my mouth, so I have nothing to good say on those games. Bayo 3 did not leave a bad taste in my mouth. I thought that game was good, even though, yes, there was some frame rate stuff. The frame rate's much better than Age of Calamity, though. So, I don't really group those two together. Because Bayonetta runs over 30 most of the time. It's just inconsistent. But the input delay is not bad. Like, it's the moves come out when you press the moves. It's just on the visual aspects of the game. Like, trying to, like, line up hits and things. But playing-wise, it's actually pretty smooth. But yes, the frame rate definitely needs to be fixed in that game. Let's see here. This fall, Nintendo want to do Call of Duty commercial for... I think Call of Duty is going to be huge for the Nintendo Switch 2 in terms of just the announcement. I don't know if people are going to buy it like that, but I mean, they could. So yeah. Same. I'm not crazy frame rate person. Even I was like, yikes on AOC. Hope Switch 2 has a patch for the game. Yes, exactly. Like, I just want it... If Age of Calamity just ran at 30 frames... I wouldn't have really, it would have been a significantly better game. If they would have locked that game to 30 frames, it would have been significantly better, because the game is better than Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Like, the combos, the movesets, the characters, everything, it's better than Definitive Edition. Hyrule Warriors, I think it's better. Definitive Edition has more content in the base package on Switch, but the content in Age of Calamity is less repetitive and it's more cool with the DLC. You got to pay more for it, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, Age of Calamity's combo system is better. Like, I love Urbosa, I love Princess Zelda. Like, that stuff is way better than, in my opinion, than Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. But Definitive Edition runs at 60 frames per second, you know? Like, it just plays so silky smooth. There's a bunch of characters on screen. You can just chop through everything, you know? Yo, shout out to Johnny! Says thanks. Thank you, Johnny. Let's see here. Forget Terrace. We could all agree Switch 2 could release 2 to 3 years ago. I don't think Switch 2 could realistically release 2 to 3 years ago. Nakat, let me give you guys, everybody, the update. Shout out to the homie Nakat. The update on pre-orders is look out. Nintendo of Canada, or not Nintendo, Walmart of Canada is telling people to get ready. Trump has paused the tariffs for 3 months. So the pre-orders could be announced at any point now. Now, if you missed my video today, some of you guys missed it, I will tell you guys what I said in that video, so you don't have to watch it. But you should watch it because, you know, ad revenue. So, and if you have YouTube Red, it still helps. So in that video, I do think that the new pre-order date for Mario, for what's called the new pre-order date announcement will be at the Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct. I think that will be the time that they announce the pre-orders. It still gives them enough time to assess the tariff threat. It gives them more time to stockpile units in Vietnam and get those over. Nintendo's already shipped over a bunch of units right now to the US, and they're going to stockpile more. So that can help us potentially have the same price that we had. No jump up in price. Maybe there'll be a price jump later if tariffs, if tariffs hit the US like Evander Holyfield back in his heyday, or like Mike Tyson, then yeah, we might get a price jump. But for right now, it's good because they can stockpile more units, and maybe they can eat the tariff cost if it comes up not too bad. So that is the update on the tariff situation and the pre-order situation. Get ready because it's going to be very soon, and they're going to sell out. The pre-orders are going to be hot. Everyone is going to pre-order this system because we all know there's going to be, for those who don't know, Nakat was I think he still does play Smash sometimes competitively, but Nakat is one of the best Smash players of all time. I don't know if some of you guys follow Smash or not, but he's one of the best of all time. Brawl, in addition to Smash 4 and Ultimate. He's the homie. So you guys show him some love and give him a subscribe on his channel as well if you haven't already done so. Big love to Bee Queen. Still a Smash player. Okay, still a Smash player. There you go. Nakat still plays Smash. I know Smash is kind of in a weird spot right now, Nakat. So yeah, I didn't know if you wanted me to say it that way or not, but it's all good. Nakat's one of the good ones, guys. He's one of the good ones. He's not one of the douchies that we go over. Nakat's one of the good ones, so you can follow, subscribe. You know, he's not going to be on that BS like some of these Melee guys and that are. So trust me, I would never endorse a douchebag. So y'all can trust Nakat. He's the homie. Shout outs to B Queen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being with the 5 gifted members. Let's go. Let's go, B Queen. Shout outs. Man, his Sora is god tier. This man's Sora is so good. I remember I was watching you play Sora. I was just like, bro, how? like, this man's actually playing Kingdom Hearts. Like, how? This man's Sora is so good. It's so good. No, actually, I can't. No. Nakat, you don't know what happened between me and my community. The best player that we have here, Nakat, is Party Man. So, Party Man probably watches the streams. I don't know if you know about him, but Party Man's probably the best player. Well, we have a couple other players. We have Party Man, we have Chupa, and then we also have, who was our other best player? I forgot. The Party Man and Chupa are probably the best. I lose to Party Man a lot. Like, I lose to him a lot. The last time that we were playing, and I would probably say obviously I'm not a great player, but I'm better than like the average. I'm not like the super casual player, like super casual. Like, I can like play and like I know like the different techniques and stuff like that. I'm not gonna get cooked by like, by like little kids and stuff like that. And I did play in a few tournaments here and there. I never really won too much. Even in my local scene, I never really won too much. But man, I lose to him. And because Peach is broken, because Princess Peach is broken. That's why I lose to him, because he's a Princess Peach fraud. Because he's a Princess Peach fraud. Hit the lab with me in the next. Oh yeah, we're gonna lab, Nakat. I got you, brother. We're definitely gonna collaborate on the next Smash. Oh yeah, we're collaborating. You can just body me. You can body me over and over. I can take the punishment. We definitely collabing though. We definitely playing. I've been cooked so many times playing competitive Smash, so it's all good, man. It's all good. And I've played against so many pro players, like on Elite Smash. Like I've played against a lot of you guys anyway. Been cooked a million times, so yeah. So just finished a math exam to get into university, and the stream helped me get a high B. Thank you. Hey, no problem, Jeffrey. Let's go. So yeah. I need a chance to prove my mental in Smash. Hey, let's go. Let's go. A lot of people are saying that the Steam Deck is better than Switch 2. Who's saying that? A lot of those games on Steam have to be verified. I don't know who's saying that. Who's a lot of people? Who is a lot of people? Because it ain't Digital Foundry. It ain't anybody that knows tech. Hey OJ, I got my Switch 2 console, Pro Controller, GameCube controller, and Mario Kart World pre-orders. Feeling blessed. Yeah, definitely blessed if you can get all that, man. It's pricey and it's expensive, guys, when it comes to pre-orders and stuff like that. Like, it's going to be pricey, but I'm telling you, man, we all asked for this. Like, literally, we all said, if only Nintendo can make a system. Listen, it's not perfect. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that it's perfect and everything is the best and whatever. But ultimately, this is what we asked for. We did ask for a system that was significantly stronger and better. We did ask for the games to run better. We asked for a bit more third-party support. We don't need everything, but I mean, get us some more third-party support, you know, and that's what is here. That is what we are getting, you know. So yeah. Let's see here. I didn't really got to go have a good time. All right, take it easy. Take it easy, flipping the Switch. I know you did it. You want Switch to last for forever, you know. But like I said, I've spoken. It's just not feasible from a development standpoint. Nintendo would cripple the company. Just essentially, Nintendo might not cease to exist if they decided. I would say this: they might not cease to exist in the next 10 to 20 years if they decided to ride out the Switch right now and not develop their, like, just shut down technological development. They literally might not exist. Like, they would get so little third-party support. It wouldn't work. In my opinion, I think that would be one of the worst decisions Nintendo could ever make. 4, 5, 6 years ago, say no Switch 2. Don't develop the next system. Just leave it and just ride out Switch for however long. That would be a terrible. I honestly feel, I'm not just saying that just to say it. I honestly feel that would be the worst decision Nintendo's ever made and they've made some bad decisions. N64 cartridges, right? Wii U situation that went down, 3DS pricing, the launch lineup. Like, they've made some bad decisions, and I think that could be the worst decision that they would ever make if they said, we're not going to make a Switch 2 after 8 years. Like, we're just going to leave it and not develop tech. That would be the worst decision that they've ever made. Once again, I can't prove that, though. I can't prove it, and I can't sit there and say that what I'm saying is factual. It is not. It is my opinion. I could be wrong too, so I'll say that as well. But we're gonna have a discussion. Flipping this, we're gonna have a discussion, and we're gonna talk about it. Shiny Shady Boy says, "Play Star Overdrive." Play Star Overdrive. Okay, sure, I got you. Star Overdrive. Let's go. Yeah, Switch won't die anytime soon. Star Overdrive. Star Overdrive music. Okay. I don't know about 5 years. But yeah. Shout outs to Shiny. Thank you for the support. Let's see. Your worst decision is not having Breath of the Wild DLC on Switch 2 cart. Yeah, I mean, people are saying that. We don't know if it's 100% at this point. It would have been better if they had that on there. I already have the DLC, so it doesn't really matter to me. You're going to be able to access it. But that would have been nice if they would have just thrown everything on there. Tears of the Kingdom does not have DLC. But I'd guess that most people that are getting The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild are probably have the DLC or have already purchased it. But yeah, it would have been nice. Obviously, it would have been nice if they would have had that. But once again, we still need to wait and see. I don't know if that's confirmed yet at this point. The DLC's okay, though. It's good. It's okay DLC. I like it. let's see here, drop Switch 1 to 250 and a 130 for light, and it'll pass PS2. It can probably pass PS2 not even doing that. They can probably pass PS2 not even dropping the price like that, to be honest. They probably can. It's pretty close to the PS2 right now. I think it's about maybe 7 million away or so. 7-8 million away. So I think really if you just continue to support the Switch 1 and maybe you have a discount like here and there or something like that, a cheaper bundle, they'll probably pass it up at some point. You don't even have to like do that drastic, you know. Did you see the Last of Us bundle? I did. Don't care, but yeah, I did see it. Mario plus Rabbids is probably going to get a enhanced edition on the Nintendo Switch 2. Like I could see Mario plus Rabbids and Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So Kingdom Battle and Sparks of Hope all on one cartridge, or probably a Game Pass key, knowing Ubisoft. For like $50 or something like that. But they're going to update it to where it's going to run at like way better frame rate and resolution. Maybe 4K 60 or 120 1080p or something like that. Do you think Switch 2 will be able to another top-selling system like the first Switch? It's very difficult to be the best-selling system of all time, said Truzy. So I don't think so, because how many times has Sony topped the PS2? Exactly. How many times has Sony has Sony outsold the PS2? Hasn't. So the chances of outselling the best-selling system of all time, or close to the best-selling system of all time, is very slim, considering nobody's actually done it. And the only person that's came close, well, 2 times, was the Nintendo DS, and now the Switch. So it's very difficult. So I doubt it, but you never know. Japan could carry Switch 1 to the all-time record. They just keep buying it. Yeah, Japan, another 35,000 units sold in Japan. So every month, they're selling 100,000 units plus of the Switch 1. So you average that out over the course of a year, well, that's over 1 million units right there. You know, if they just go at that pace, 30, 20, 40, 30, you know. And now once Switch 2 comes out, obviously that's going to change. It's going to slow down. But yeah. I think Switch 2 will get to 100. I think the floor would be like, yeah, 80, 90 million. I think 100 million plus is probably more likely. Like 110, 115 million, something like that. Crispy Tofu with $1 dono says, hey, OJ, do you think that there's any chance we get upgrades for Bayonetta games? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I think Bayonetta games are on the docket. They're going to be there. Bayonetta games are going to be there 100%, in my opinion. Do you think we pick up Switch 2 later? It might increase the price, meaning I should get it as soon as possible. I think, and I'm not just saying this just to say this, but I think that with the looming threat of tariffs, I think if you can get the Switch now, get the Switch now. And I'm not just saying that just to say it. Look, listen, guys. We're all for consumer stuff and all that, but I mean, it could go up. It could go up. Justin it came with a $3 dono.
I'm nearing the end of Metaphor. It is so peak.
Well, yeah, it's not on the cartridge if you already have it. So once we start converting in this video, no DLC. Yeah, so that sucks that there's no DLC in there for that. So maybe you don't buy the cartridge for there. Maybe you just buy if you already have the cartridge, then just use your cartridge. I mean, 35 million people bought Breath of the Wild or something like that. So just use that. Japan could, what do you think of Kidding Chris is saying that there's a tariff that Nintendo will eat for the consumer? I mean, there's going to be a small tariff that they're probably going to have to eat, like a 10% tariff that they're probably going to have to eat overall, yes. So they'd eat that. But if it's like a 40% tariff, or if it's like a way bigger tariff, then yeah, that's when it's going to become very problematic. But yeah, like a smaller tariff, they'll probably eat it. Just look at, there won't be themes and stuff at launch ever for the system. We don't know. Nintendo hasn't detailed the themes and stuff like that. They haven't given a detailed overview of the themes and like, you know, they haven't released like a dashboard or an eShop video, which they'll probably release one closer to launch. So we'll see once we get closer to launch. I'll be traveling to NY in June, vacations. I'll be picking up Switch 2 at the Nintendo NY store. Nice, let's go. I think the tariffs looming will bit the price up a bit, but we need to get it ASAP, of course, Nintendo. Yeah, I would get it ASAP. And you're going to want to get it ASAP because you're going to see Donkey Kong, and you're going to see freaking Metroid Prime, and you're going to see, you know, Mario, and you're going to see, you know, all these people playing all these updated games, and you're going to see all this stuff. Like, you're just going to see all this dope stuff, and you're going to see Mario Kart, where people are going to be, you're going to see Mario Kart, where people are going to be grinding up, wall riding and grinding. It's just going to be, FOMO's going to hit you. So, I mean, like, if the people that are saying, oh, don't, you know, boycott and all that, I'm telling you, bro, a lot of these people, a lot of these big content creators, Boycott, rah. Bro, they're gonna have one. They're gonna have one on the DL. They're gonna have one on the DL. Like, damn, I'm gonna play Mario. A lot of these guys out here talking about Moist Critic out here with $1 million. Dude's a multi-millionaire. Talking about, complaining about $80. And bro, listen, I complain about $80 too. But that dude got more money than all of us maybe combined. So you trying to tell me this man ain't gonna have that on the DL and sit there? He can sit there and make as many videos as he want. He's gonna have one. And when Smash comes out, oh, you already know. You already know. You already know when that stuff comes out, bruh. You already know. I find it hilarious though, Nick, that you're saying drop the price when you bought a PS5 Pro for like, you bought a PS5 Pro and a disc drive for like $800 something. I never heard you say drop the price then. There was no drop in the price. It was, oh, it's worth it. It's worth every single penny. but all of a sudden, it's with Mario, oh, drop the price. Priorities, right? And that's, what did I say about consumer priorities? Y'all buy what you want. Get what you want. I'm not here to pocket watch. I just want to have a little bit of fun with Nick. I'm not here to pocket watch. Get what you want, buy what you want. Value is subjective. PS5 Pro will be more valuable and will be worth it for certain people. And I know I'm just joking too, Nick. I'm not trying to say that you're dumb or anything like that. Listen, I got a PS5 Pro too. So I also have one. I also have a PS5 Pro. But it's like, people will be subjective in terms of, in terms of what they like, what they dislike. You know, I saw also, there's a guy, I don't follow him, but I've seen him around and I've communicated with him, like Jay Barra. He was like, Mario Kart 80? What? I can't believe it. But then like the Last of Us Part 1 and 2, he already has both games, physical and I think digital. And he was like, oh, hell yeah, copped for $110. You already have both games. You already bought the remakes. You already bought them. You have both games. You bought them. You flipped out on Mario Kart. But hell yeah, the same games that I already have, digital and physical. Cock, day one. You know what he said? Those are my favorite games of all time. Yeah, you already have those games. Like, I don't think I'm buying the Nintendo Switch 2 versions of Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not buying Tears of the Kingdom for $80. I already have Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just gonna buy the upgrade. And down the line, if there is a discount on that full cartridge for collector's purposes, yeah, I'll check it out later. But launch, no. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not gonna buy those games on the Switch 2 editions of those cartridges. There's no need for me to do that. I already have the games. I already have the cartridge. I'll just buy the upgrade pack and I'll be good, you know? Like I said, for preservation purposes, maybe later down the line, if there's a deal on them, yeah, I'll pick it up, but I'm not buying that at launch, you know? So it's funny to see how people's priorities are, right? So it says the grifting online. Exactly. Some of the grifting online, it's interesting, you know? Imagine Wind Waker Talk Princess HD Switch 2 enhancements. Oh, that'd be nice, Shadow. That'd be nice. They get Super Duper Deluxe Collector's Edition for Zelda game. Cheapest handheld available on the market. Price gouge. Yeah, I think now at this point, I think people are seeing that the tech is actually worth it now that we're getting more. I think originally people were like, oh, maybe it's not. But I think obviously you're looking at it in the games and you're like, okay, this is actually pretty good. You know? I'm not buying the upgrade. Oh, yeah, you know what? My bad. Sorry. I'm not buying the upgrade either. Octave, you got to remind me. I'm not buying the upgrade either. I have the expansion pass, so I'm also not buying the upgrade. I'm just going to get it. Like, you know. I never bought the Mario Kart upgrade because I have expansion pass, right? So, yeah, Moist Critical, Young Gay, etc. all said Switch 2. All going to get Switch 2. Moist Millionaire YouTubers. Young Gay freaking does VA too. Yeah, they're all going to get it. They're all. But, I mean, once again, there is valid criticism that they are giving. I think that there is valid criticism too, you know?
I got my micro SD Express 512 GB coming, I think, with a bigger system storage that should be enough for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I gotta get mine. I haven't got mine yet. I gotta get mine. I gotta get mine. I have not got it yet. I don't know why I have Sesame. Oh, my son. He was listening to Sesame Street. Okay, I have Sesame Street in the playlist, guys. Let's go. Y'all want to hear some Sesame Street? No, I ain't playing. I'm about to get copyrighted by Big Bird. I'm good. Drop the price with the $3.
If they don't drop that price, I'll still buy it. but I will keep complaining for my fellow gamers until they do it.
Yeah, I agree.
If we all complain, they'll listen sooner or later, even if I get it day one.
Yeah, they'll exactly. Yo, hit him with the combo break. Gonna combo break Nintendo's pockets. Let's go. I could have done without getting my PS5 Pro, shaking my head. No, yeah, I read your comment, Monado. Critical and valid criticism, but he's also spreading misinformation like $90 games and camera needed for voice chat. Yeah, he is also spreading misinformation. He is also spreading misinformation, which, once again, I don't expect him to actually, like, this is something that, for him, from what I've seen from him, like, he legitimately, I think he hates Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? So, the more you hate something, the more prone you're to misinformation. Have y'all realized, the more you actually hate something, the more you're prone to jump the gun. The more angry you get. So that's what I realized with some of these people. You know.
Don't play the Sesame Street music. The Big Bird Ninjas will show up to strike the channel.
Yeah, shoutouts. They're gonna show up to strike the channel. I don't want that. Big love to Big Dill. Put things in perspective, we had a 25% tariff on Chinese exports in 2018 where the Switch was manufactured. So a 10% tariff in Vietnam as of now, and actually lower than what we had before. Yeah, since they moved the manufacturing. Shout out to Big Dill. That is definitely a good point. Because they moved a lot of the manufacturing to Vietnam. So if it's a 10% tariff on, you know, Vietnam, that is not so bad. They still produce some systems in China, but it's not it is not as much as it used to be. Shout out to Big Dill. Thank you for the JoJo. Big love to Big Dill. Cyber Taurus is what the 5 says. Yeah, thank you for Cyber Taurus with the 5. Let's go. Cyber Taurus, you are now extending that Hokage lead to 55. And if it does 55 or more, you beat out Cyber Taurus. Still 50 to beat him out on the Stream Ninja board. Let's go. Big love. Shout out to Beat Queen too. I know I said what up to. Thank you for the 5 gifted once again, but I want to say it again. Beat Queen's awesome. Much love. Hearts. I hate PlayStation, and I will admit it. I don't hate any video game companies, man. Listen, I've been in this industry for a long time, and we need balance. It's like the Triforce, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. We need balance. We need power. We need wisdom. We need, you know, courage. We need all of those things. You know, we need all of those things. We need that Triforce of balance. So I don't want to see any company do bad. At the end of the day, I really hope DK Bonanza does well. I think destructible environments is criminally underused mechanic in many games these days. We're good on graphics, etc. Destructible environments should be the future of games. Remember Hulk Ultimate Destruction PS2? Yeah, I do remember that game, and that's what we talked about on the Spawncast. It was pretty good. After 130 hours, I finally beat Xenoblade X, and all I gotta say is Takahashi's mad genius. Can't wait for the next Xenoblade game. Yes, sir. I'm at like 60-something hours with Xenoblade. I've been doing all the ARMS testing, so I've been trying to delay it though, because I want to play it in 60 frames per second with Switch 2. So I'm hoping that we get an update like day 1 or something like that. So it's just Microsoft trash, and that's fine. You can think Microsoft's not good, but you still need them around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still need them. Like, you need villains. You need villains, right? You need a villain. You need even. I'm not saying Microsoft is a villain. They're not, but I'm just saying in any good story, you don't just have a bunch of heroes running around. You need a whole atmosphere. You need people that do. Even Nintendo, they're the villain, right? We need them too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need them as well. So no matter how you feel, whoever you feel is the bad or the evil or whatever, trust me, all these people that are like, we all need it. You need that drama in your life. Because if everything's happy-go-lucky, it'd be like the Squidward episode. Remember that Squidward episode where he goes and moves with all the other squids, you know? And he's like, and he's just doing that. And then like every day he's doing that. And then he goes insane. Like, it's the same thing with video gaming. You need that little, and that little oomph, and that little boom, and that little pow. You need that little John Madden, you know? Pow, boom. You know, you need that. You need that. And that's what I love about, I hate to relate it back to football, but everything relates back to football. That intensity, that I hate you, but we're still going to be cool after we're done playing. That's how I feel. Like, I could hate you on the field. I need to hate you right now. I need there to be people so I can bash my head against these people. I need to run somebody over. But at the end of the day, we're still all playing something that we love. We love the game of football. But at the same time, I need you to be my adversary. I need to not like you right now. You know, I need there to be some drama. There needs to be some trash talk. There needs to be something. We're playing a game. Like, it's fun for the atmosphere. Even like the NFL, like I'm not in the NFL, but I love the storylines, the rivalries. Like you need that. And with the gaming, you need that. In my opinion, you need that oomph. Otherwise, it's boring. If everybody was just like dun 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 kumbaya mala kum. I mean, listen, I go to church for that. You know what I'm saying? I go to church for that. I'll go hold it and say my prayer. I go to church for that. I don't need that over here. I do that over there. You know, I do that IRL, real life. Be a good person. Be a good person. Be good. Do what you need to do. Donate to charity. All that good stuff. But when it comes to gaming, a little bit of chaos is fun. A little bit of what you like, what you don't like, people saying this and that. It's fun, man. You know? I'm not saying console warriors. What I'm saying is that, like, don't take it too personal. Don't take it too far. There are some people who take it a little bit too far. I don't have a problem with people liking a certain console. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like when people lie and misinformation, that's when I say, no, wait a minute. You can't be calling yourself a consumer advocate, but then also not know and inform the consumer the best. Talk first, think later. That's not a consumer advocate. If you talk first, think later, that's not a consumer advocate. Because you're angry or because you're mad or because you tell people to pirate everything, even if it's appropriately priced. Stuff like that doesn't make you a consumer advocate, because you might be telling consumers to pirate something or to not support something that they really like, and then they don't get that in the future. Because of what? Because you hate X, Y, and Z that something does? Like, you're trying to impart cultism on the audience. You know, like weird cult status on the audience. Listen, make your own decision in terms of different types of things. Make your own decisions. Buy what you want to get, what you want to play, buy it. If I don't like it, that's fine. I'm not going to impart my own personal beefs and grudges and stuff. If something looks dope and I don't think it's consumer friendly, I'll say, hey, look, this is what I think about the product, but at the end of the day, you need to make your own decision. And if you like it, something that you like, go pick it up. I'm not going to try to put you guys into some type of weird cult about pirating and weird cult about boycotting and not buying things, even though you might like it. It might not, my own personal things might not affect your own opinion or your own personal preference on things. So, you know, like I said, these people that are these fake consumer advocates, these fake, you know, people that are trying to sit there and try to rant and rave about they know best for you and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, BS. Let people make their own decisions. Let people look and see what they need to pick up. Give them the accurate information and be about games at the end of the day. If something needs to be called out, you can call it out. I'm not against criticism. I criticize Mario Kart, but these fake advocates and all this is just, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? They try to act like that. They're in it for themselves, 100%. You know, in it for themselves. How much can I get off of people by acting a fool of myself, you know, and calling people out and saying this and that? Like, it's ridiculous, you know? Let's see here. At this point, bro, the PC fanboys of Nintendo is like a cult. There is some cultish type of stuff kind of going on at times, you know? So yeah, even with tariffs, Chinese gamers can buy Switch 2 for nearly, from nearby regions like Hong Kong and Taiwan. My friend in China probably going to get the imported Switch 2. Okay, nice. Misinformation on $90 and game key cards. Yes, absolutely misinformation on that, you know? Do we have an idea on pre-orders? Yes, we do. So it looks like pre-orders could start up. This is my own personal analysis. I think pre-orders could start next week. And that is after the Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct. That's the 17th, so that's 1 week from now at 6 a.m. I think Nintendo will announce pre-orders because you have that hot game. You need to follow it up with something. Also, there's been some bad press lately, right? So this game, if you can show how lit it is and what you get with it, more content, I think that can definitely help clear up some things because people are going to be looking to see if it's worth that 80. So I think having also, hey, look, pre-order is going to go live next week, or they're going to go live the week after, or this date. I think that would definitely help out too, you know? So yeah. Nintendo cult doesn't come even as close to Sony. But the thing about it is that I'm not even part of any cult. I'm a part of like, hey, look, I like what I like. I get what I get. I have all the systems because I can get all the systems. I'll play what I want to play. Last year, people say you're just some type of Nintendo shill, whatever. Okay, well, I put more time into my PlayStation 5 than my Nintendo Switch last year. Now what? Oh, well, that doesn't fit your narrative. Oh, well, there's a first time for everything. Man, shut up. There's a first time for... There's a million time for you being wrong about someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, the thing about it is, like, get what you want at the end of the day. Get what you want. If you like Nintendo more... Oh, well, if you like Sony more, good for you. It's freaking video games. If you like Microsoft more, great. I don't care if you defend Microsoft or
A
Sony
true
or whatever.
gamer
I don't
is one who
care.
possesses that Nintendo power to change at least one life.
Okay.
With great PlayStation wisdom, and doing it with unwavering Xbox courage.
All right, I like that. I like that analogy, Super Christian B-Roll. Let's go. Exactly. People are taking it too seriously. People are taking it way too seriously. Like, they start, like I said, oh, you're bootlicking, you're this and that. I'm like, bro, it's just video games. Like, it's not like anything. All I don't like is misinformation. That's all I don't like. Hey, hi OJ, can you ask Dreamcast guy to stop with the slop, like saying the console will be $600 and that'll be a disastrous launch? I'm not gonna tell him that because I think the audience, the chat has told him that enough. But I'm not gonna tell him that because that's against his business model. Because when the Switch 2 comes out and the launch is actually incredible because of Mario Kart World and because of the games that are coming out and the updates, he can make the I was wrong video when he eventually buys it. So there's no point in telling him that because trust me, he'll course correct when he gets the system himself. There's no point in telling Dreamcast guy that because trust me, he will just say he'll make a video that he was wrong after he gets it. So, I mean, you just let the natural thing take its course, you know, just don't worry. He'll correct himself soon. Nobody has to tell him anything. So yeah. Let's see here. To be honest, I'm part 9 of Nintendo Co. I love Nintendo. I saw MK Roll was 80 and I thought I'll probably prove it to be $80 game and prove itself. Here's the thing though, guys. We've already been paying. I'm not gonna sit here and bash you, right? See that opinion, big deal? If you said that on Twitter, oh boy. Bootlicker. This, that. It's subjective value. You can buy whatever game that you want to buy. There are some people who spend $200 on a freaking PlayStation. This is not a PlayStation controller. I don't know where my PlayStation controller is. Just imagine there's a $200 DualSense controller that people buy, the Pro controller. That's literally 2 Mario Karts. They think that a controller is worth more than a freaking game. So everybody has their own biases and what they think is valuable or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has that. Clearly, manufacturing and making Mario Kart probably costs a lot more than making an Elite Pro controller. Okay? It probably does. Like, controllers are expensive to make, but Mario Kart's development was crazy. Plus, they have the game distribution as well. You know, it's software and it's also hardware with the, the physical copy of it, the manufacturing. So it's expensive. I disagree. I think that they should have the $70 price point for these games, but I'm not going to sit here and tear into you because you think it's worth it. Like, it's your opinion, you know? Listen, I bought a Steam Deck OLED for $550. If I would, future me would have smacked the hell out of past me. But I did it. I said I lived and I learned. I got it. I tried it. It wasn't for me. But have I ever told you guys for 1 minute, because I think Steam Deck OLED is not worth it, that you shouldn't buy a Steam Deck OLED? And I can bring up a million reasons why I don't like it. Have I ever told you one time that none of you guys should buy it? That's what these fake consumer advocates do. They impart their own personal opinions on you guys and try to make it seem as if you need to rise above and follow the god and the leader. Hell no. Y'all buy what you want to. That's what's part of being a consumer. Make your own decision. Research yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to boycott anything. And I have a litany of issues that I have with Steam Deck. And I do not think it's worth it for me. That doesn't mean it's not worth it for you. Now, we can discuss back and forth. We can have a good conversation. But at the end of the day, if you want one, fam, go buy one. You know what I'm saying? And if you're at it, go drop me a dono too while you're at it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I appreciate you being there. I'm not going to shut you off. I'm not going to tear you down. Other content creators that sit there and say other stuff or whatever, I'm not going to tear them down for their decisions. If they want to buy something, if they want to sell something to get something, that's them. That's what's being a consumer. It's like, okay, I disagree, but hey, it's all good, fam. Get what you need to get. That's it. People turn it and take it into some type of, like, we're doing rocket science. It's not really that, it's not that heavy. Like, I don't know everybody like that. Like, buy what you want to buy. Get what you want to get. My brother was like, yo, man, I want to get a virtual reality headset. I'm thinking in the back of my head, those headsets are trash. But, you know, for me, it's not great for me. I mean, they're good tech, but it's not great for me. But if you want to get one, yeah, man. I'm your brother. Even if I wasn't his brother, hey man, I appreciate you. I've never told you guys one time. I'm not a fan of PSVR. I've never told you guys one time, don't go get PSVR. I said, hey, look at the games, look at the value. If you find yourself wanting to get it, then get it. That's it. You know? Let's see. Why the heck did you buy a Steam Deck for $550? Why does Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2 look like that, Juice Man Vaughn? Like, you asking questions that you might already know the answer to. Or maybe you don't know. Or we don't know the answer, but why does she look like that in that picture that you linked, fam? Why does she look like that? Sometimes you can't explain things that happen. You just gotta say they happen, right? You know what I'm saying? One time, bro, back in the day, man, I used to have this haircut, bro. It was just straight down. I looked like a ghetto version of I was Andre 1217. I wasn't even 3000. I was Andre 114. Why'd I do that? I don't know. Sometimes you make decisions that you just make decisions. You just gotta say, hey, you know what? You live, you learn. You're not perfect, but it is what it is. You know? Sometimes it happens. I don't even if I was even 1K. I think I was Andre 145. I didn't even make it up to 1,000, bro. I wasn't even 500. I wasn't even 10, 20%. I was Andre 117. I wasn't even saying, hey, y'all. I was saying, hey, you. I was saying, sorry, Miss Gonzalez. Oh, I am for real. It was a whole different ethnicity, bro. I wasn't even black. Sorry, Miss Gonzalez. It was a completely different one. We had to go to a whole different one, fam. Oh, man. It says, a lot of people all say these things and try to convince you to feel the same way because they want to be validated. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. About to be Andre dozen. Yeah. Half a dozen. Andre Baker's dozen. So, Juice Man, when you're telling me why I bought that Steam Deck, well, like I said, have any of you guys really made some bad decisions? Like, personally, like, fashion-wise, like, whatever. Like, I remember one time I went out to go to a party, and there was, like, a friend that I grew up with from, like, junior high and stuff. And, you know, we kind of roasted him about, like, he came there, and he was wearing this shirt, and it was, like, a striped shirt. It was, like, a striped shirt. And I was like... And I told him, all I had to say to him was, nice shirt. And he just looked down and was like, and then his homie said, man, I knew you shouldn't have worn that shirt. And he looked like he made the worst, because there, you know, there were girls there and all that. And he's like, man. And then, like, he's probably thinking to himself, why'd I wear this shirt? It was a bad decision. And you don't know why you make some of the decisions, but you just do. And I'm not talking about decisions that are like life altering, like, you know, like where you're going to really like hurt yourself or something like, or like, you know, prison or like not stuff like that. Obviously there's other circumstances with things, but I'm just talking about like just bad regular decisions that could have easily been avoided. Deportus is selling with the $2 and says, Switch 2 450 outclasses pricier Steam Deck models. Yes, it does. It does outprice them. It doesn't obviously power wise, but some of the other like, you know, memory and some of the other features, Steam Deck is better. But power wise, yes. There's very different feature sets though, and obviously the games in terms of prices for games, you can get better prices on Steam. So yeah, I don't regret buying a Wii U. I had a lot of fun playing Wii U, so I don't regret it though. I'm pretty sure he was trying out the Steam Deck. I don't know if you get the faster loading times on Switch 1 cartridge for Breath of the Wild, you might need a faster read speeds. What are you talking about, casual noob? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. No, I get it. You paid because you wanted it at the time. I pay. Here's the thing, and in my video, I broke it down this way. I said I was actually making jokes, Juice Man, when I like the whole thing, because like that picture of Ellie in The Last of Us, she was like, straight up.
Bri got scammed $150,000 on crypto.
Ooh.
That wasn't a bad decision. That was an S-tier turbo stupid decision.
$150,000 on crypto. Oh my gosh. This man was all up in them Tom Brady commercials. Damn, I'm sorry, Christian Muro. Big love though. At least you landed back on your feet. Combo breaks for you, man. Combo breaks. Ouchies. But yeah, why does Ellie look like a Care Bear? You know, she looked like a Care Bear with a gun. She was like, I'm gonna shoot you. Hey, Abby, I'm gonna break your legs. Don't mind me. She's like 4'2". Look how so tiny. She's like, they just messed her hair up a little bit. They just messed her hair up a little bit and gave her a gun and said, hey, look tough. And she was like, I can't, bro. I can't take the scene in The Last of Us Part 2 when Ellie chases down one of those people of Abby's clan or whatever, and it's red, and she ends up like, I think it's the black chick. She ends up like, you know, bodying that black. Like they show part of the scene, and she was just like, I'm gonna mess you up. I'm just like, I die if that was me getting you know, messed up by Ellie in that scenario. I would probably die of laughter before I die from her killing me, because I'd just be like, this is just the cutest thing. Like, look at this little Care Bear trying to kill me. This is crazy. So they should have recasted her. It just looks so funny. It made sense for the first part. For those who don't know, The Last of Us Part 1, it takes part over, I think she's 14 in the first last, and then she's like, I think she's 18 or so, and so it's about 4-year gap. But there hasn't been, the girl is already grown. The girl's already, so she didn't age. It's not like it was Boy Meets World or something like that where the kids got older. She looks the same. She looks the same as she did the years ago. So there's no real age up. She's still short. I think Ellie's like what, 5'6" or 5'7". Ellie's not super short. So, and this girl is short. I think she's short at least. Maybe I'm wrong. But it just doesn't look right. She did a great job in the first one, and that made sense when Ellie, because, like, you know, she looked not exactly like Ellie, but she was tiny like Ellie was in the first one. Then in the second one, Ellie looks way more masculine. She has tattoos. She's obviously taller. You know, she just looks more chiseled. Her face looks chiseled. She has like more of a chisel. It just, you don't have to look exactly like your part, but it's just, it's such a difference, you know. And the show and the movie or the game is so gritty, right? It's so realistic looking in terms of like the graphics. It's just hard to kind of take it seriously in that sense, you know. But hey, it's all good. Like I bet the girl's a good actor. I can say that right now. She probably did a good job. She can't change her face, you know. So she's a good actor though. No shots to the actress, but her face does not fit the role of Ellie play. Yeah, it just doesn't. She's a good actor. She's a good actor, but yeah, it just doesn't fit it very well. She's too round. She looks too cute. You know, round faces are usually like, you know, a lot of Japanese mascots or people that when they make a mascot, if you want a cute looking mascot, you make their face round. If you want a more mean looking mascot, you make their face chiseled. That's why a lot of the mascots are the silly characters in like games like Tatsu or the Nopon or like Morgana or whatever, right? Like a lot of them are like round looking. They're really round because it's supposed to be like silly and cute, you know. So like her face is kind of like, oh, you know, it's like a round face, and it's fine, but it doesn't really work well. Ellie has a chiseled face, you know. All right, let's see here. Jib Jig. Donkey Kong, let's go. You think I'll stick with ScanDisk for Switch 2? Yeah, I'm waiting for the ScanDisk memory cards. Hit that like button though, guys. If you have not hit that like button, let them know that we are out here. Last of Us 2 is gonna be a good though. Something tells me Abby's gonna steal the show. Yeah, Abby steals the show in The Last of Us Part 2, the video game. So if you've played, Abby, she suplexes the show. Not even just steals it. She body slams, suplexes, Zangief, Oria, double suplex, spinning pile driver. You are Abby, man. You go one part with Ellie all the way, and then they say, it's Abby time! And then you just go all the way back to Abby. Oh, man, she steals the show. She super steals the show. Oh my gosh. There's one time where she stole the show and I did not want her to steal the show. And she stole it all right. She stole it. I mean, Ellie kind of stole the show one time with it, but it was a little bit of a different scenario. But the Abby steal the show, man, that was crazy. Anyway, ooh, there was some gruesome. It reminds me of when I played the game. There was some scenes where I actually kind of like turned my head and winced. It was pretty nasty. Oh, the scene, the Firefly scene. Ooh, ew, where that chick's arm, like they clipped her wings. Oh my god, that was so nasty. That was so, and then they had to make like a fake splint. Oh my gosh, that was so disgusting. It's still disgusting to this day. I still kind of wince. That scene was so hard to watch. Shout out to The Last of Us Part 2. You might not like the game, but man, it makes you squirm at times. It really does. Even the ending. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to spoil it though. Goodness gracious. Some parts of the ending. Cybertoast with $5.
I will no longer say someone got bodied. I will say they got abbied into the ground.
You got abbied. Yeah, you got ab blasted. You got ab blasted. The abbies. The abinator. Do you think the Switch 2 is, do you think that once the Switch 2 is out, people are actually going to play the games out and all this noise will go away? It won't completely go away, but people are still going to say what they're going to have to say, but fans are going to buy the system. It's going to sell well. Yeah, the Kool-Aid Man. Abby's the Kool-Aid Man. What was the pre-order update? Yeah, we already went over it numerous times, but essentially it looks like since the 3-month pause on tariffs, looks like we might get an update next week on Thursday after the Mario Kart World Nintendo Direct. So look out for that. Get ready, because Walmart of Canada is also saying get ready, like sign up for updates. So it looks like they're getting the word that there's going to be pre-orders, probably with like announcement of pre-orders soon. No problem though. If you guys need an update on what happened with the tariffs and the situation that's going on, let me know, and I will always just ask and I will let you know. The boss fight at the end with the game with Abby was sick. I hated the result of it. I thought it was cool, but I hated the result of what happened, you know? So yeah. I enjoyed The Last of Us Part 2. I reviewed it on the channel. If you guys want to see my Last of Us Part 2 review that nobody watched, you know, so yeah. So yeah, it's all good though. Hit that like button though, guys. If you have not hit that like button, hit that like button. Let them know that we are streaming, that we are out here. We also got an update on new games. So we're going to check out some new games for the NSO that came out today. What's up, Prime? Where is the Oh No Alex debate? LOL. Shout out to Nintendo Prime. Hey, you guys give some big love to Nintendo Prime. You know, he had my back in the video. I don't forget stuff like that. So big love to Prime. But then again, like I said to you, Prime, like I don't think it was really anything that like you had to like have my back. It's just the truth. For what we know right now, it's just the truth, right? It's like you don't even really gotta say, oh, I got your back. It's like, okay, well, let's just report on the truth. The truth is the truth, and nothing should get in the way with that. You know, nothing should get in the way. I don't know if you saw my post where somebody was trying to call you out for, you know, defending or fanboying when you were actually just putting up correct information about the whole does it play situation, you know? And the truth is the truth. Listen, I get it. Alex, he does his thing. He's whatever. He's kind of like, that's how he makes his money with this, you know, fake consumer advocate type stuff, you know, like that's how he makes his money. And that's fine. That, you know, and he needs enemies. He needs people that he can say, you're the enemy, you're against the consumer, that you can call fanboy and shill and bootlicking. But then at the same time, you know, it's like, wait a minute, hold up. I don't want to actually debate that person, because then all of my bullshit that I spew to my audience about these terrible people and these fanboys is not actually true when you talk to them one-on-one, because they have all the systems. I have a PS5 Pro. I have an Xbox. I bought those day one. I have an Xbox Series X. I have a gaming PC. I play what I want. I play whatever the heck I want. I'll play what I feel like. You can sit there, you paint me as one picture to your audience, but that will crumble. It will die and crumble, and you will never be able to use it again if you actually have a conversation with me. You know, so he ran from the debate. He doesn't want to. He, you know, quote tweeted my tweet that I put up on him, ratioing him, and he said he made like he said, you ignored me. He just focused on the part you ignored my DM. It was like he made like a little laughing thing. So he doesn't want the truth. He doesn't want fair discussion. He doesn't want to, you know, be cool with me, and that's fine. He doesn't have to be. He rather push narratives to his audience and misinform them than make videos saying, oh, I was wrong, or not even I was wrong, make other things saying that stuff. So it's like, whatever. He's a grown man. I'm a grown man. He can do what he wants to do, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go after the truth. That's what a consumer advocate does, is go after the truth, Prime. So I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to give my opinion. I'm not going to force it down you guys. Like, if you guys want to believe what I want to believe, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you guys to hate things or that this company's the worst. They're all greedy. They're all greedy companies. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they're all greedy. They all want your money. They're all capitalistic. They all charge for things. All of them do. I'm not dumb enough to sit here and try to make one company 10 times worse than the other. They all are. And I give my money to all of them. If I don't like a company, I will not give my money to them. But that doesn't mean you guys have to follow in the same suit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to sit here and act like everybody should not play something because I don't like something, or I should start making slander or making misinformation because I don't like a certain company. It's ridiculous, you know? So yeah, there's going to be no debate. He doesn't want to debate, and I don't think he would. Why would he? Because like I said, his narratives will crumble if he does. But the floor is open. The floor is open for, you know, in terms of the debate and all that. Shout outs to GameStop. Says, when should I line up at GameStop? Shout outs to GameStop. I said, shout outs to JD Scream. Thank you for this. Thank you for the $1.99, man. I appreciate it. Banana guy didn't know what he was talking about. The one thing making fun, the other thing is making it. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, he was wrong on that. I've been wrong on things too. You know, when it comes down, like, I've been wrong on things, and if I call somebody out and I'm wrong on them, I'll apologize, right? So if there's every time, like, I call somebody out, like, I've called out, like, Nate, right, back in the past, I apologize to him, or Liam Robinson, or Emily Rogers, or anybody that I've called out, I apologize to Prime. I mean, I was just having jokes with Prime, but I went a little bit too far. So I apologize to him on a Twitter space. It's like, you can be a man and you can say sorry. I think Prime's also said my bad a couple times, some certain things in the past or whatever, right? It's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with owning up and being a man. And that's what being a man, or being an adult, or like a man, woman, whatever, is about. It's about actually owning up to your mistakes and saying, yo, man, this is how it is. Not trying to play some type of, fake, consumer, like ranting and raving and stuff like that, and calling people out and, calling people bootlicker and things because they like Nintendo? Because of that? What? That's stupid. I'll make my concerns or whatever in videos. I'll do what I gotta do. Just like he likes PC and Xbox. Like, it's stupid. That's just an excuse. That's just an excuse to make somebody look bad, when it's not when it's not really the case at all. So yeah. All right, let's get into these Nintendo new games. Shout outs to JD though, appreciate you. Deports the Slim with the $2 says, are you able to give us an update? I missed it. Okay, sorry. Okay, Deported, thank you for the $2. The response to wearing a banana suit was yes. Me being a consumer without bootlicking a company. There you go. Says 80. Kirby at 80 is questionable. It's not really 80 though. Here's the thing. It is and it isn't. It's the DLC and it's the upgrade. So it's a $10 upgrade, and then it's the DLC, the Star-Crossed Worlds. So if you already can find the Kirby cartridge for cheaper, you can find it for cheaper. You can get the Kirby game, and then you can just get the update for 20. So if you already have it, you can just update it. You don't have to buy Nintendo Switch 2 editions of games. So if you can get Kirby for 50, or you can get it for 40, or you can get it for whatever, you can just upgrade it from there. You don't need to buy the Switch 2 cartridge for $80. But what they did is that they packaged in, and like I said, once again, that doesn't mean I like it. I'm just telling you the actual factual information. It's an upgrade pack plus the DLC. It's $10 for the DLC. It's $10 for the upgrade pack. They put it together, and they said, this is the price of the game. Because the MSRP is 60. So then they added 20 to it. So there you go. It's optional. So just keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. A lot of people aren't actually telling you that. All right, so let's get into this next one here, guys. We're going to see what games they got for us. But do you need space on your memory card? Oh, Streets of Rage, cool. Let's play this game back in the day. Streets of Rage 2, I love Streets of Rage. Yeah, Streets of Rage. Those are the graphics back then, baby. Do you need space on your memory card? Just for the save, if I'm not correct. If it's on cartridge, then no. It's all complete on cartridge. Super Thunder Blade. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's one of them helicopter Apache gang shooters. It's on the same like Space Harrier, right? Man, that's the Sega Genesis sound card or sound chip was terrible. Like a frog croaking. Those sound effects are terrible. Star Fox is so much better.
E-SWAT.
E-SWAT. This is what people think when you look cool, you just dress up in this type of... Okay, this is actually kind of smooth though, right? Like Mega Man. It reminds me of Mega Man, like a grown-up Mega Man. Alright, so there you go. Those were the games. Get ready for Sega Genesis, babies. Sega Genesis in the house. Those are available now if you want to get any of those. Those are available now. So there you go. Kirby regularly does go on sale for $40 on the eShop, by the way. Yeah, there you go. So you can also do that. You can also do that. If you okay, let's do it. AMA on Switch 2. How about we do that, guys? I think this would be a good thing right now. AMA, you guys have any questions, even if I've already answered them, or if you're unclear, there is a no judgment zone with the questions here, or if it's already been answered, if you're not sure, let me know. Let's clear up all the information that's crazy right now. Let's do it. So feel free, drop your question. Don't be afraid to ask it. If you're lurking, don't be afraid to ask it. Let's hear it, and I'll tell you guys the truth. I'll tell you guys the complete truth overall in terms of things and you can make the best decision for yourself, whether you want to do something or not. I'm not going to force my opinion down you guys' throats. Do you see Elena trailer for Street Fighter 6? Seems like such a random time to drop it when you could have been at Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Thank you for the $1.99, Mr. Ben. Shout outs to Mr. Ben S. So, all right, let's do this. Let's do this AMA. Let me get some music playing though, so you guys can have some lit Xenoblade music. Theme X. OJ, you think I'm smart? You're smart, Projo. Just when you feel like it. Any early collections for Switch 2? Early collections for Switch 2. What does that mean? Will Switch 1 games outside of the Switch Edition games look better on Switch 2? They could possibly, but probably not. How many cartridges have you tasted? At least 20 to 30. So we have 2 copies of the same game, 2 Switches from one account anymore, right? So we can't have 2 copies of the same game on 2 Switches from one account anymore. Oh, no, you can. Did Doug say that they're going to have a game-by-game pricing for Switch 2? They said variable pricing. So that's pretty much how it is now. Some of the games on Switch 1, like Tears of the Kingdom, is $70. Game & Wario is $50, right? Metroid Prime was $40. Some games were $60. Game Builder Garage was $30 from Nintendo. So they've always had variable pricing, and so has Sony and Microsoft. Everyone's had variable pricing. I mean, Microsoft's a little bit different because of Game Pass, but pretty much variable pricing has been a thing for a while now. It's been a thing for a while. Yeah, another code was 50. Everything's not the same, even though people like to say that it is. It's not. It's been variable for a while. What's the split on bundles versus just the systems and Nintendo shipped over here? Because what I'm saying is 90% people want the bundle. Most people probably want the bundle because you get Mario Kart for $50 instead of $80. How many publishers will end up using the same game key cards? Many. And it'll get to the point to where almost all of them are going to be using it. There are going to be a lot of people using game key cards because the file sizes are just really big. So, yes, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be some that don't, but there's going to be a lot that use game key cards. So people are just going to opt to buy digital. But if you want to have something that's not tied to an account, but you want the game, then a game key card is going to be available. But no, there's going to be a number. There's going to be a number of developers using it. That was the solution for partial cartridges and code in a box games. Does the C button have any other features or an ad for expansion pack when you don't have online? It doesn't have any other features outside of just that quick chat button. It's the same reason why with the Switch 1 controllers, you can access the chat button not through here, but all you got to do is press the home menu and then go to the dash and the chat button's there. So then you can access the same chat. One controller gets you a shortcut. That's it. Could you see, Mike, I could see your comments. What's up, man? Welcome. OJ, do you think Wind Waker and Twilight Princess will still get HD ports? Yes, it's possible. Who wants to bet we'll still be able to get the new GameCube controller? It'll work with OG Switch? Yes, the GameCube controller will probably work with other games and stuff like that. Nintendo always has that disclaimer with the controllers. They say it's only compatible with the Classics app, but then you can use it for everything else. How likely do you think Xenoblade patches are? I would say that it's over 50%. Will Scarlet and Violet look better on Switch 2? I don't know if it'll look better, but it'll run better. It'll look a little bit better because the resolution will be higher, but it won't, and it'll run better, but it's not going to look dramatically better. Let's see. That explains Doug Bowser came from freaking EA of all places. LOL, what a joke. Doug Bowser's done an okay job. I don't know what EA has to do with anything. I don't know how they're trying to relate it to EA. I really don't get that. So somebody, Mutator, I saw that seems like a Twitter point to me. He came from EA, so he's terrible, or he's this, or he's bad. I don't understand. Like, are they doing a bunch of microtransactions in their games, or did people forget what EA does? Is that what happened? Or is Nintendo microtransactioning all their games? So that's what I remember EA for. That's what I know EA for. So is Bowser doing that? Is he microtransactioning everything? Like you know, FIFA Ultimate Team and stuff like that? RGT beat Xenoblade Chronicles X before you? Yeah, he did, because he rushed through the game. He only put 65 hours into it. He didn't do all the affinity quests. He didn't do all this. He used Elma, and he used Lynn, and he just used the standard characters most of the time. He doesn't want to show his affinities. He doesn't want to show how many quests he has left. He rushed through the game. He rushed through it, because there's no possible way that you can do a lot of the quests and only put 65 hours. So yeah, and I don't beat Xenoblade games really quick. I take my time and do all the content. I'm at 60-something hours, and I'm only on chapter 6 because I'm doing all the content, all the side quests and everything. I'm doing a complete playthrough, so when I do my review, I'll actually have a better take because I'll have more of a complete picture of the game. Whereas, like I said, RGT, it's great for him that he beat it. I'm happy for him, but since when does beating something faster make it a better thing to talk about it? Obviously, he missed out on a bunch of content in the game, you know? So yeah. Let's see here. Why doesn't Nintendo force developers to use cartridges? Because that'd be stupid. Because then, you know what would happen? You'd get an N64 type of thing, where a lot of them would be like, no, I don't want to use cartridges. What are you going to do about it? Why would Nintendo force them to do that? That'd be the worst idea. Like, you want to kill developer support? Force them to make expensive cartridges. Will 8-bit Switch 1 controllers work with Switch 2? They should. Lots of games have come on 2 discs, so why not sell them in 2 cartridges if needed? Because cartridges are expensive, Donkey. I don't know if you realize how cartridges are, but they're very, very, very expensive. Way more expensive than discs. So discs are easy and cheaper to produce. Cartridges are way more expensive. That's the reason why. OJ, when is Fire Emblem coming? Probably in the next year or 2. Yeah, meantime, Reggie works at P&G and Pizza Hut before, so the dumb point to mention Bowser used to work at... Yeah, unless Nintendo starts microtransactioning all their games, I don't see the connection to EA. What does it matter? Lots of people used to work at EA and move over to other businesses and stuff. I bet the Frontier nav is almost empty. That Frontier nav is looking really spooky because exploration in Xenoblade just takes a long time. The game there's so many places to go, it's spooky. So he just beat it real quick to beat it, and that's fine. Like, he's not a big RPG guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not a big RPG guy. So I knew he wanted to get onto other stuff and all that. So yeah, it makes sense, but you got to play at your own pace. I'm not hating the fact that he beat it is also, that's pretty impressive in its own right. You know, I mean, that's pretty good. So shout outs to him. But when I play Xenoblade, man, when I give you guys 100+ hour reviews with Xenoblade, because I want to experience it. I want to give you guys the real content. I don't want to rush through a Xenoblade game and put only 50 hours or something like that. You miss a lot of the good content in the game if you do that, you know? There's a lot of good side content in Xenoblade X, and you'll miss it if you just barely do any of the stuff. Let's see. We're doing an AMA on Switch 2 stuff, so if you have any questions, feel free. I thought Nintendo was never going to type any chat connectivity to Miiverse drama people in Miiverse maliciously. Okay. Do you think Cyberpunk on Switch 2 will be rare down the road? Probably, yes. Why doesn't Game Freak make HD 2D Pokemon game like Octopath 2 or Dragon Quest 3? Because it doesn't fit in line with what they want to do with like the anime and what they want it to look like. They want it to look more like how it looks. They don't want it to look like a retro game. I don't think they feel that would be appealing to most of the audience. That's why. Greg with the 28 months of the tune-in tier pledge. Thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate it. It was said that Pokemon Scarlet was getting free update day 1. Do you think that they'll include resolution and FPS increase, or they just do what they should have done for the Switch? Well, I mean, no matter what they do, then that means it would be a resolution and update, right? So if they lock it at 30, that's still an update. That's a performance boost. If it's a resolution, then that's still a performance boost. So, like, regardless, there's going to be some performance. There's going to be performance increases to the game, DT. What's up, Chupo? Welcome. Has Nintendo said whether they will have other Switch 2 releases that have Switch 1 versions apart from Prime 4? They've already given us the first slate, so Jamboree, Legend of Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Legends ZA. So those are the ones that we're getting right now. We're probably gonna get more later, but they haven't said anything. But I'm almost positive that we will get more later. Let's see. When do you think Atlas will put Persona 3 Reload on Switch 2? I think it's gonna be more of a fall game, fall or early next year. I have over 180 hours of Xenoblade Chronicles X already. So when I see people say they beat Xenoblade Chronicles X in 50 hours, I'm like, wow, you're missing stuff. Exactly. Exactly. Shoutouts to Ben S with the $5. Says, our game keys low-key genius, allows for backwards compatibility, lending to friends, and huge games all in the same slot. They are low-key genius, yes, but they also have the problems that people have with not having the actual physical media. But in terms of for publishers, it is genius. It's genius because it is removed. You can have a retail presence, and it has removed the limitations, and it's cheaper. So they can say, if we want a retail presence where we can sell a game, we can still have this massive game, right? Like GTA 6. Is GTA 6 going to ship on a cartridge? No. Is it? It's probably going to be 100 gigabytes for GTA 6, right? It's probably like you can't have a 100 gigabyte cartridge. It's too expensive. The 64 gigabyte cartridge is too expensive. So it's low key genius, yes. But for the consumer, for us, it's not quite as great. But it's like a double-edged sword. We're gonna get more games because of game key cards. Like we're just gonna get more games because of it. Developers might not even opt to say, if we can't have a retail presence, if we can't, because we know Switch owners like to go into retail. If we can't have a retail presence, we don't know how much we're gonna sell. We'll just screw it. We don't even need to do the game. But now that they have that option, it is a better option than probably having partial cartridges and codes in a box. I mean, it's about the same as a partial cartridge, to be honest. But it's, like I said, it's better for the publishers because they actually don't have to pay for the cartridge. I'm pretty sure that those hollow game key cards are more cheaper to produce than a 8 gigabyte cartridge or even a 4 gigabyte cartridge, you know? So yeah, that's the deal with that. Shout outs though. Thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate you. RGT is my second favorite Nintendo YouTuber. Yeah, RGT's the homie. What's up, OJ? Just waiting for those Switch 2 pre-orders? Yeah. I got my money ready at 50 to go ham at launch. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be hitting them like Tasmanian. You guys remember Tasmanian Devil? He just spins around. I'm gonna be the Tasmanian Devil in that store, bro. I'm gonna be Tasmania. Welcome to Tasmania. Y'all remember that show? Welcome to Tasmania. Hey, calm down there, little Tad. Have some OJ. That show was goated. Anybody? Hey, y'all got an assignment if you want. Watch a show for all my youngins out there. Watch a show. It's called Welcome to Tasmania. I think it's on YouTube. That show is incredible. The humor still stands up to today. If y'all remember, the funniest thing about that show, when we were younger, and I'll get that dono in just a bit. Big love. Taz was crazy. When I first saw Taz, he was a wild beast. So the funniest thing that they did is that they took the same Taz from the Looney Tunes that's like going crazy, and they made him have a family. And they all talk but him. But when he talks, they understand what he's saying, but you don't know what he's saying. So the show is so funny because he's going blah, 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 and then all of his family is talking to him normal. They just treat him like, oh, he's kind of crazy, but he's okay. We still love him. He's a special child. And it's freaking hilarious. Like, it's all of that is in the context of the show, that this dude's crazy, but his family treats him with love and care, even though he'll go blah, blah, he'll destroy things. And his dad's always like, calm down there, man, have some OJ. And his dad always drinks orange juice. His dad loves orange juice. The show's hilarious. Check it out if you want. I think it's really funny. You could probably watch it on YouTube. The show is so funny. It's called Welcome to Tasmania. Yes, very much like Wild Thornberrys, like with that little boy. But I don't know if they really understand that little boy. The Tasmania show, like, it's funny because Wild Thornberrys, the show just started then and they did that. Tasmania, we had years, decades of Taz being he never had a family. He was just a crazy thing that was out in the wild acting, crazy. So when they put him in it was hilarious because I had watched them for years. That show Tasmania, I think the early 90s, I'd watched him for so long be crazy. Then all of a sudden he's got a family, and it's like, well, he's part of a family. He's like the big brother or whatever. He has a sister, he has a mom and a dad. There might be someone else, but yeah, it's just super funny in context of who Taz is. So if you haven't seen the original Taz shows, watch a few of the Looney Tunes. Just look up Looney Tunes Taz and just watch some of that and see the structure, and then watch Tasmania and see what they did there. It's like a sitcom type of show. It's great. It's so good. Shout outs to Echidna with the $9.99. Let's go. And says, hey, OJ, saw a moron today using you in content regards selling your Steam Deck for Switch 2, but I'm sure you know who it is. I had to come through and show some love for your content. Hey, yeah, no problem. Once again, you know, I invited that guy to come through and talk and discuss. When it came down to it, I sold my Steam Deck OLED for a Nintendo Switch 2, and that's fine. I'm a grown adult. I can make my own decisions, and that's what I felt like doing. If you want to sell your Switch for a Steam Deck OLED, I support you. If you want to sell your Switch 2 for a PS5 Pro, I support you. If you want to buy a PC and you want to go all PC, I support you. If you want to, you know, support any other company that you want to support, I support you. When it comes down to it, I'm a real consumer advocate. You know what I'm saying? I support you guys that want to, you guys are adults. Most of you guys are. You guys can make your own decisions. If you want to consult me with what you want to do, I can help you out. But I'm here to help you guys make the best decisions possible, and I'll give my opinion on top of that at the end of the day. So I'm not here to bash anybody for their purchases or what they sell to pick up. Do what you want to do. If you want to sell your system to get something else, do it. If you want to sell all your systems and all your games and you just want to hang out and talk about games, you can do that too. It's all good, fam. Do what you need to do. If you need to sell it to get other things, that's cool too, man. I'm not trying to impart anything. I don't think it's crazy that anybody sells something to get something else. You know, I mean, I can have a little bit of fun with it and all that, but I mean, I'm never going to sit there and make a whole thing saying that, how dare you do that? It's your money. It's your time. It's your life. Do what you need to do. That's what it's about in terms of being a consumer, making your own decisions, and doing what you need to do. Now, if you need help or if you need me to, if you want to ask or inquiry, sure, I can help you. But outside of that, have at it, man. You guys want to come here? We have fun. I don't care what you guys do with your money overall. If you want to buy whatever you need to buy, you know. Shout outs. Yes, the game is also very good. Are you getting the camera? I don't know if I'm getting the camera. Can you use the All Pro controller on Switch 2? Yes. The All Pro controller will work on Switch 2 and it'll work on all Switch 2 games, even exclusives according to Nintendo. This is direct from Nintendo. So it will work on pretty much everything. It'll work on pretty much everything. Shout out to the supporters. Sicilian with the $5 says, I support OJ selling his Steam Deck to his wife at MSRP to afford Switch 2, fam. 100% fam. Yo, big love. Yeah, I know, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's go. Let's go. So you want to update Switch 2 US pre-orders? I saw a video in my feed, so I was curious. So what is the update? Yeah, basically look out for next week at the Nintendo Direct for Mario Kart World. We could get the update on there because of the tariffs pause. So there's a 90-day pause on tariffs. So we could get that update overall. So look out for next week, April 17th, after the Mario Kart World Direct. Also check out my video that I also uploaded today, or no, sorry, yesterday, where I gave you guys a comprehensive, breakdown of what's going on there as well. So check out that video if you have not seen it yet. The video is out, and I'll put a link, or put it in your watch later. Let's see here. I'm selling my Fortunaire to get a Switch 2. I don't know what that is. What is that? Do you know how Pro Controller 1 will handle the game chat function? It doesn't need to handle the game chat function. If you want to access the game chat, all you got to do is press the home button and then go to the button that says chat, and then you can access it from there. So it's available via the dash, and it's available if you have the Switch 2 Pro Controller, or obviously the Joy-Cons that come with the Switch 2, then you can access it there. But if you need to access it with the Switch 1 controller, hit the home button, go to the chat button, bam, right there. 10% tariff on Vietnam still in effect, I think. Yeah, and I think Nintendo will eat that tariff. I think they will eat it. I don't know if you saw, but Nintendo is port 1.1 million Switch 2s to the US since the tariffs pause. You mean they've imported 1.1 million Switch 2s? It might even be more than that. Looks like they're going to be stockpiling even more because they're going to need more for the launch of the US market. So Do you think Switch 2 will be in stock at stores at launch? There will be a big stock of Switch 2s. They're stockpiling the Switch 2s right now. So we could get maybe anywhere between 6 to 8 million worldwide. So that is a significant increase over the Switch 1. Switch 1 had about 2 million units worldwide at launch. Switch 2 is looking to have 6 to 8 million. So we're looking at, you know, triple to quadruple the amount of Switch 1 at launch. So, I mean, it should be there, but then again, at the same time, Switch is a lot more popular. Nintendo's way more popular now than they were, you know, back then. Let's see. Super Christian Mural with the $3.
Speaking of Tasmania, bro, you should check out its French intro. Same lyrics, but in French. That ish has been stuck in my head since forever.
I'll definitely check it out.
Of joy.
Shout outs, man. Thank you, Super Christian Mural with the $3 dono. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. The French, anything in French just makes it way funnier and way better. You know, like the trailer for Breath. You know, I got to do the Breath of the Wild, right? Link, you have disgraced me. Oui, Link, you will die. That was the Breath of the Wild trailer, bro. That second trailer, number 2. Blood Moon. Oui, yeah. Now you die. Oh my gosh. Says that's not French. It's more like A-rap. No, it's not. If you there's a show called watch the show called All That, and it's a segment called Pierre Escargot, and essentially it's a little bit of a parody that I'm there when he goes oui so it's basically a little bit of a parody on that. But if you get some time, it's an old show, but it's on a show called All That. He says, it's not French. I know you're French, but how Americans parody French is not the way you guys actually sound, Automaster. That's the point of making it a parody. If it actually sounded like how you guys had sounded, it wouldn't be funny. Because it'd be like, oh, you can talk really good French. It's supposed to sound exaggerated and not quite like it. That's the point. It's not supposed to sound like how you guys actually talk. But it's all good. Why did the country, which games are you buying day one on Switch 2? Which games? I'm buying a lot of games. I don't know yet 100% though. Can we watch the French trailer? Not right now. No. Not right now. Oh man, have you seen the Key and Peele? I have not seen the Key and Peele French, and I need to check it out. Yeah, Pierre Escargot. Check out Pierre Escargot, and that's what he goes. It's not actually French. I grew up in the All That era though, so like it was just silly. Obviously, shows like that, like in today's day, that's probably like a no. You don't do stuff like that. But back then, it was like literally it was stupid. Like even French people thought it was stupid and funny. Like so. And like they parodied everything. They parodied like gangster. Like they had like parodied black people, gangsters. Like they had a guy called Baggin' Saggin' Barry. So this dude, black people back in the day, they would sag their pants so much. So the same guy that did Pierre Escargot, the fake French guy, he did Baggin' Saggin' Barry. And Baggin' Saggin' Barry would pull out anything from his pants. Anything that anybody needed, he would pull it out from his pants. It can be food, it can be whatever, and that was the funny thing. It's like, oh, it's this brother sagging, but he sags so much that he has everything that he needs. His clothes are so big, and he sags so much, he got anything that you need in his pants. And they'd always go, Baggin' Saggin' Barry, Baggin' Saggin' Barry, what, Baggin' Sag. So, I mean, they parodied all sorts of cultures and people and stuff like that. It was just... They parodied the old white guy that's the repairman, like that doesn't know what he's doing. Repairman, They parodied everything on All That. It was never malicious. It was always silly. It was never like serious at all. Like everybody loved it, But like I said, you probably can't do a show like that today in today's day. But back then, oh my God, it was great. Shout outs to. Have you ever come close to being a negativity grifter? You know what? There was a time that I was thinking maybe I could do negativity grifting on the channel, but then I decided I recorded a video and I think I wanted to You know what I'm saying? So then I decided I just can't, because that's not me. I can't surround myself in darkness and negativity for the sake of grifting and making money off of you guys. I can't do that. It's just not my personality. It's just not me. I can't be negative like that. I mean, I can be negative about some things, but I can't sit here and be negative like that in videos and edit it. I was editing the video and I just realized this isn't me. This isn't what I want to portray. This is not my life. And I said, I'll quit doing YouTube if I do this, you know? So I deleted the video and I never thought about it again. So yeah, shout outs. Big Left the Cyber Touch with another $5.
First, shout out from the wife.
Yo.
Second, she wanted to know if you were having a breakdown, and do you need assistance? She was walking past the door at just the right time there.
Oui, I do. Please, send an ambulance. Yeah. No, well, bag and sag and berry. Yo, bag and sag and berry. Commander DM says, come on, OJ, you're my goat. Don't ignore me. What do you want me to ask a question? What do you got, Commander? Did you see Doug Bowser's interview with CMNC? I did. Let's see. Just watched the Spawncast of what Gene said about Mario Kart Tour was insane. I forgot. What did he say about Mario Kart Tour? If it was cheaper, people would cry about it being low spec again. Yes, people would. Vietnam was originally a 9% tariff. Nintendo was only dealing with additional 1%. I thought it was a 10% tariff, right? Or was it 9? Do you think all Xenoblade will run at 6 frames per second on Switch? They need to do updates for them in order for that to be a thing, so it's possible. Closest thing to negativity, Grifter I watch is Dreamcast guy. Oh man, yeah. How come other countries got pre-orders and first with the missing info was a short on players? Since other countries got pre-orders first because we have a tariff problem. Yeah, Keenan and Kel was really good, Andrew. We have a tariff problem. So because the tariffs could have went up, Nintendo can't put out pre-orders if there's going to be a massive price, you know, that they'd have to pay to import. So they had to pause the tariffs for right now until the tariff situation gets situated. However, it's been paused for 3 months, so Nintendo can stockpile and potentially get a price and pre-orders back up within this month. Do I have any Xenoblade X tips videos? I don't have any Xenoblade X. Actually, I do. I have an old one from before. So if you want to watch that, just look up Xenoblade Chronicles X tips or Xenoblade Chronicles X tips and tricks. I have a video from old one, but I don't have one for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. And that game plays differently than the original. Well, it's the same game, but there's more to it. Hey, what's up, Act? Welcome. Speaking of people spreading misinformation, Doug Bowser said this ain't the first rodeo anyway. Remember when seeing journalists, YouTubers misinterpret Furukawa? Said even more. Yep. If it was 10%, it was 9%, so it's went up 1% for now. Okay. It was 10% and it was 9%. Okay, 1%. So yeah, they'll probably eat that 1%. We have 99 problems and a tariff definitely ain't one. Hit me. 99 problems and a tariff ain't one. If you having tariff problems, I feel bad for you, son. Got 99 problems. The tariffs ain't one. I hope so, at least. We say that now. We might be crying later. Laugh now and cry later. Drake. Whoa. Well, you're like Drake later. Hey, what's up, Dark Synchron? Bag and Berry, Pier, Escargot. Those were the days. Now, if we did those again today, the internet would explode with salty Karens. Yeah. Let's see. Exactly. We never know what that guy. Yeah, exactly. Bro, all those deck users annoying as hell. And I got a deck too. Yeah, those deck users came down like freaking like ninjas. You know what I'm saying? Came down on my video. They just came down like the Hayabusa clan, old Hayabusa clan.
You shill. You shill fanboy drone. Nintendo, you shill fanboy, you drone. You no good corporate bleep sucker. Drone fanboy. Oh no, so bad. You dropped. You fanboy shilling, no good for nothing. Why I oughta? Let me type on my keyboard.
Oh, shout outs though. Says that was used to do voiceovers. Maybe one of these days. Like Furukawa said, Nintendo's going to expand their business outside of gaming, but many journalists instead made clickbait articles like Nintendo might quit VG console market. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My wife just said, "What are you watching?" I know I've probably set a lot of you guys' like wives or husbands off, like they're watching, and they just hear somebody screaming into a mic about something that just sounds super weird. Okay, yeah, we're still in AMA Switch 2, guys. So even if it's a repeat question or a dumb question or what you think is a dumb question, I don't think the questions are dumb. But if you think it's a dumb question or whatever the case, or if you forgot, or if Nintendo put it in the direct and you don't remember, there's a lot of information. So we're trying to do the right information here. We're trying to give accurate information here. I'm not trying to impart my own personal vendetta for you guys. We're going to go over, so ask questions and I'll do my best to answer them regardless. Positive or negative. We're here to actually be for you guys, and so you guys can make a great decision. That's what a consumer advocate is for. So let's hear those questions and let's keep it rolling. 8-bit Switch 1 controllers work on 8-bit Switch 1 controllers work on Switch 2. They should work on Switch 2. Yes, 8-bit because any Switch 1 controller should work on Switch 2. Although we have to wait and see though. We have to wait and see. But Nintendo's official Switch 1 controllers, they all work on Switch 2. Do we have an update on pre-orders? Yes, we could get something next week because of the tariff pause, Darren. So look out for the Nintendo World, the Mario Kart World Direct. So yeah, look out for that. Gene said, you see the mountain in the distance? You see the mountain in the distance? You can drive to it. Breath of the Wild of Mario Kart. Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yes, it's an open world Mario Kart game. It looks great. You fell in love with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Nice. Do you think Scarlet Violet will look better or just run better? It'll probably the resolution will be increased. They'll still look the same, but the resolution will be increased, and then the frame rate will be increased. Sup, bro? Just pre-ordered the new Zelda amiibos. Let's go. Hey, shout out to Mellow Wolf. When do you think the next direct will be? Since we don't have any dates. Well, the next direct that we're getting is the Mario Kart World Direct, but after that, I would probably say sometime in June or July. Probably July. July sounds like good. June or July. Let's see. Keep the question. Keep that. We're doing an AMA on Nintendo Switch 2. So feel free to ask the questions. Mega Man X with the subscription. Jono with the subscription as well. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. I really hope they do a Switch 2 upgrade for Xeno, Torna, Xeno 3. Yes, those could all use good performance updates and everything. Yeah. Is there a direct next week strictly for Mario? It's strictly for Mario Kart World. There's no other announcements. Maybe pre-orders for the Switch 2 here in the US and Canada, but there's no other announcements. It's just Mario Kart World, guys. We just had a huge direct with a bunch of announcements, so we don't need any more announcements. Nintendo needs to do a bit of like control, like over this misinformation. They need to do a bit of control, which they are doing. They're sending out like their customer support reps are telling people stuff when they're calling and all that. So right now they need to plan their next move for discussing and talking about the Switch 2. So we don't need more information. What we need right now is give us more information on Mario Kart. That's great. And then we need to get the pre-order situation solved, and then we can kind of go from there. You know, because the launch is gonna be here before you know it. It's April 10th. Next month it's gonna come here, and then after that it's gonna be June 5th. Literally, it's gonna be here before you know it, because it's not like it's the end of June. It's the beginning of June. It's like the first week of June. So yeah, it's gonna be here before you know it. Because it's already getting hot where I live. It's already going to be in the 80 degrees. So I already know it's June. June is coming. Summer is coming. 60 FPS for all Xenoblade games, please. Yes, I would love that too. Let's see if you have the time to play all those games though, Nick. Let's see if you actually have the time. Plus playing PlayStation games as well. So we'll see if you have the time to get through it. What GameCube games do you want to see on the app? Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. That'd be great. Did you discuss pre-orders? Yes, we already did discuss pre-orders multiple times. Think they'll add more stuff to MK World, like housing in a garage? I mean, they definitely could add some stuff like that. Yeah, it's possible. Do I need to take work off? You think Mario Kart Direct? Just make sure my pre-orders... I don't think they're going to do the pre-orders the same day as Mario Kart World. I think they're going to announce the pre-order date at the Mario Kart World presentation. Like, hey, guys, pre-orders will be here. They're not going to do it that day. So no, don't take work off just yet. Would you be more hyped for Fire Emblem 4 remake or a totally new Fire Emblem? I'd be hyped for either one because the Fire Emblem 4 remake is so crusty and old, or Fire Emblem 4 is so crusty on the Super Nintendo. It still works, but like either one is fine by me. Any tips? The best way to pre-order once available? Make sure that you have all your credit card information, everything stored on the sites that you like to go to, like Best Buy or whatever. Secure it, obviously, two-factor authentication. Do all that stuff that you need to secure your accounts, but have the credit card on there ready to go so you can easily pre-order it and not have to worry about inputting things. So Walmart, Best Buy, wherever you like to shop. June release is good. I can sell on my patio. Play Tears of the Kingdom and really finally beat it. Yes, there you go, Jeffrey. Let's go. Keep the AMA on the Switch 2 going. If you guys have questions, even if I've already answered it or if we've already talked about it, let me know and I'll answer the question. Underground 2 GameCube NSO would be lit. That'd be nice. If they added Skies of Arcadia Legends, oh yes, that would be great. Skies of Arcadia Legends would be really good. It'd be great if the Pokemon GameCube games can come to, connect to the home so we can move Pokemon from there. Ooh, that's a good idea. I feel the Mario Kart bundle is going to sell out much quicker than the standard. Yes, because you get Mario Kart World for $30 off, and people love Mario Kart. Mario Kart's the top-selling game that Nintendo's made. Like, there hasn't been a game that's sold better than Mario Kart for a hot minute, right? Since the Wii era. Like, what, the original Wii Sports? That was a pack-in, too, right? So, it's been a while since Nintendo's had a game that sold anywhere near Mario Kart. It almost never happens. Mario Kart 8 is an anomaly in Nintendo's library. So, yeah, you make the next game big. You just bundle it right there. People pay $50 for the game. It is what it is, you know? How will I transfer over my old micro SD data from the Switch 1? Well, it's going to you do a system transfer. So you get your Switch 1 and you get your Switch 2, and then you go to the system transfer, and then you transfer it from one system to the next system. So it'll transfer it all over to the data that you, like, to the SD card, the new SD card that you have to buy, or the system memory. So if you have a lot of games that you need to transfer over, I would say get your SD card, get your Express SD card ready right now. Or get it close. Make sure you have an Express SD card ready to go.
Pro tip, you can save the Switch 2 to your Best Buy wish list right now, making it easier to get to the page.
Yeah, you can. And also, if you're on Twitter, follow a guy named Wario64. So Wario64 will have your back too. He will update and put notifications on as well. So Wario will have your back. That's how I got my Switch OLED. That's how I pretty much almost got everything. Well, not everything, but a lot of things. NBA Street. Ooh, NBA Street Volume 2 would be really good for the GameCube. With online play? Woo! AC Shadows for Switch 2. Yeah, that's already been kind of, I wouldn't say leaked, but it's been, Ubisoft is going to have Assassin's Creed games. Mirage and Shadows seem to be on the slate, and then the Black Flag remake. It's funny how people are willing to finish or burn through their Switch 1 backlog before June 5th. Calm down. It's released. I don't know. Some people are not playing their Switch, so I think it's really just depending, you know? Yep, also, Huddy, you can sign up for the Nintendo email, but I don't know how accurate that will be. Can you see Switch 2 upgrade for Metroid Remaster? Which Metroid game are we talking about? Metroid Prime? AMA on Nintendo Switch 2, guys, so ask me anything. If you have any questions, even if it's stuff that's not like, hey, what do you think about the price? Or what do you think about this? Or how do you feel about, is it this? Ask me anything when it comes down to it, so we can get down to the bottom of it. As gamers and consumers, we can all discuss and have a fair solution to everything, or discuss it like that. So feel free. Shout outs to Bead Queen, says 8 weeks from today. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Metroid Prime, my bad. I'm new to Metroid side scrollers. The side scroller one was great too. Metroid Prime, I mean, it already runs at 1080p 60, but yeah, I mean, I can maybe see them doing 4K 60, or, you know, 1080p 120 frames. Old Man says, check my previous comment. Okay, what's the previous comment? Old Man. Okay, see, I missed it. Player says, only will the announced games perform better on Switch 2 or every game? Only the announced games that we can confirm for sure. Only the announced games. So the free games updates, and then the Switch 2 games that they've already announced, nothing outside of that is expected to perform better. You know? I mean, it could because it's emulation, but it's not a guarantee that it will. It's like hardware and emulation. It's like a hybrid. Good question, though. Sorry that I missed it. There's about 12 games that are backwards compatible right now from Switch 1 to Switch 2. So for those who don't know, I'll go over those 12 games. Nintendo Switch 2 free updates. So I think if you just put in free updates. Okay, I think I got it here. So yeah, the games that are the free updates, these are the free updates for the games. So from pretty much the beginning, you're gonna get these games. So here's the, I wanted to show you guys because some people don't believe me on Twitter and stuff. Free updates for selected Nintendo Switch games. Free updates to improve playability on Switch 2 will be released for selected Nintendo Switch games. By connecting your Switch 2 to the internet, you can download free updates to improve resolutions, frame rates, and or add support for features such as game share in selected games. Contents of free updates differ depending on the game. So Super Mario World plus Bowser's Fury. This is actually a pretty good one because Bowser's Fury runs at 30 frames per second in portable mode and like a sketchy 60 frames per second docked. So they'll probably get that up to 60 frames at the bare minimum, both modes, or maybe even higher. So that's actually a pretty good one. And it already looks really good. So that's a good one. Super Mario Odyssey, that's going to be good too. You can get that at maybe 4K 60, or you get that at 1080p 120 or 1080p 60. That'll be good. It already runs at an unlocked 60. It mainly hits 60, but it runs unlocked and it's 900p. So that game's going to look beautiful. These games are right here are super big. Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, and Legend of Zelda. These games just lag in the overworld. They just, it targets 60, but it just does not hit 60, and it's somewhat jarring. So these two games are probably the best on here, along with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but we'll get to that. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I don't even remember how this game ran and everything. I think it was 60, but whatever. This game is already 1080p 60, so it's probably going to be 4K 120. This is probably going to be a 4K 120 frames, but I think they just want people to keep buying this game because they still sell this game for 60 bucks. So people still buy New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, so I think they just want people to buy it. Game Builder Garage, I think there was some uneven frame rates in this game, so that'll be good. And plus the loading time, so this will be good to just have it on there and way faster. This game will be a good for game share. This game is good. This game is good for game share, just to be able to game share it to anybody in your house. This game already runs good, but having a game share for 51 worldwide games is actually pretty dope. ARMS already runs pretty good, so I mean, 4K 60, 4K 100 or 1080p 120 frames, or 4K 60. I mean, it already runs at 1080p 60 frames, so it's a fighting game, so it makes it even more smooth. Big Brain Academy, I don't know how this game runs, but game share would be good for this game. And the big one here, along with Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom, Scarlet and Violet. So these games, obviously, you guys know the problems with these games. So with Scarlet and Violet, they desperately need patches. So these are the first slate of games ready to go. I'm pretty sure they'll continue to add on to this page as we go along. It's a small list, but I think it's an okay first list for right now. So what is that? 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, is that 11 games? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11 games. Well, I guess 12 if you count Scarlet and Violet different. So anyway, yeah, those are the first slate. Let's see. With the upgrades and pay, for example, Breath of the Wild upgrade, would my brother have to pay on his account even though we're using the same Switch 2? No, he shouldn't have to, or you can lend him the game, so you shouldn't have to. If you're gonna, are you gonna do it like what, a digital upgrade? So if he wants to, you can lend him the game on his Switch 2, and you should be able to, you'll get that, you know? Yeah, Bayonetta 3 would be good. Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 would also be good. I still think Switch 1 games with dynamic FPS and resolution that aren't getting specific updates will still run better and look better. They could, yes, Huddy, they could, because it's part hardware, part emulation. Before in the past, Nintendo used to jam the whole system into the next system. So if you're playing backwards compatible games, there's a reason why they look exactly the same. Like on the GameCube to the Wii, looks exactly the same. Everything is the exact same, regardless, because they just took a GameCube and then they built another Wii on top of the GameCube, right? Or they built a Wii on top of the GameCube. You look at the Wii to the Wii U, they just took a Wii and then they just shoved it into a Wii U, then made the system. So same thing goes for their portable system. They just take the system, then shove it into the next system, and then everything plays the same. No updates, no better frame rate, no, it's all native backwards compatibility. Switch 2 is not native backwards compatibility in the same sense as that they take the Switch 1 and jam it into the Switch 2. The Switch 1 is not a part of the Switch 2. It is emulating the Switch 1 games to run. So it is a part hardware, some things that are similar with NVIDIA architecture, but then it's also part emulation of them going in there and making sure that it can run, you know? So that's why some games might just run better because of that. But once again, you can't tell people that that's the case because they're still testing, and it could or it could not, depending on the game, how the game's programmed and how the game is. So you got to just keep that in mind. Shout outs to Bad Set. Do you think we'll be able to beat the pre-order bots at the retailer stock? We should be able to if retailers are holding it down the way that they're supposed to. Do you think Nintendo will add characters from outside Mario universe to the Mario Kart world like Link or Kirby or even Sonic? It's definitely possible for characters outside since they did it with Mario Kart 8. Yeah. You think Pokemon games will allow cloud saves with Switch 2? I hope it does. I hope it does because I think the duplication problem is a situation, right? So I think they need to solve that first and foremost. Micro SD cards are pretty expensive. They're pretty expensive, but they're not that bad in comparison to how some of the micro SD cards were in the Switch 1 era. They're bad, but they're not that bad, you know? Can virtual cards, you mean the game key cards and game share work for your friends or family who aren't with you? Virtual. You mean game key cards? Is that what you mean? And game share? Yeah, a game key card is just like a physical game, but it's just not. It operates and it acts like it poses as a physical game, but it's not actually a real physical game, but it poses as one. It's not tied to an account. So all you got to do with the game key card, you buy it from the store or from wherever, you put it into your system. That gives you a prompt to download the game. You download the game. It doesn't tie to your account. It just downloads it on your system. And then you basically need that cartridge. You need that key to be able to play the game. If you take out that key, even though it's installed to your hard drive, you can't play it. So it's very similar to like the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 and Xbox, you install pretty much the full game. If it's physical, you install if it's digital too, but if you install the full physical game, all the disc is after you install it is a key to unlock it. Yes, the data's on that disc, so it's definitely better than a game key card, but it's the same thing in the sense that they're just looking for the key to be able to say that you own the game. It's the same thing here with game key cards, just the data's not actually on there. So preservation wise, not quite as good. Basically a license on a key. Absolutely. Not saying that that's the best way to go, not saying that that's good. I actually don't want that. I would like all games to be on cartridge, but I'm not, as someone who's, unlike these people that are rage baiting you on Twitter and all that, they don't even know what happened with Switch 1. Like, and if anybody explains it, they'll call you names, they'll call you shill, they'll call you this. Listen, guys, I'm here to give you guys the correct information. I'm here to give you guys the right information. And the right information is this. Publishers do not give a damn. They are not going to sit here and pay exuberant amounts for cartridge space. Cartridges are expensive as hell. A lot of these people aren't telling you on Switch 1 we already had something like this. A lot of games were download games where you would get like an 8GB cart or a 4GB cart. They would pack it on the smallest cart possible or near smallest cart, and then they'd make you download the rest of the game. So the game was impartial. On Switch 1 we had a numerous amount of games where you have to download the rest of the game. It wasn't every game. There was a lot of games where you don't. Most games you don't. But there were a number of big AAA games where you did. Now with the Switch 2, the fact that the power jump is so big, we're going to have games that they just use way more data. So they weren't going to, were we going to do the same thing? Were they going to do partial carts? Here's an 8GB cart or a 16GB cart. They're probably not going to want to pay for those. And the carts on Switch 2 are more expensive than Switch 1. So therefore, game key cards were the solution to get rid of code-in-the-box games, to get rid of partial games, and to say, hey, look, we want a retail presence, but this is the way that we're going to do it. So essentially, that's essentially it. Now, there still might be code-in-a-box upgrades or games, but this is what we have for right now. Now, there are games that are full on cartridge, like Mario Kart World, like Cyberpunk, like Donkey Kong Bonanza. There are some third-party games that are also full on cart. If it's a game key card, it will tell you it's a game key card. If it's a regular game, it'll be a regular game. Are you willing to pay more for the cart? Am I willing to pay more for the cart? I mean, they're not going to do both. They're not going to do game key card and regular. They're not going to give you an option. The developer's either going to pick game key card or cart. There is no option. There is no, you can get a game key card or you can get a cart. There is none of that. It's either one or the other. Nintendo's probably giving them an ultimatum or choice. Look, you either do game key card or you do cart. We're not going to do both of them in stores. That's just a waste of money. So pick which one that you want to do and do it. If you don't want to pay for the cartridge, then do a game key card. If you want to pay for the cartridge, that's fine. Pay for the cartridge, you know? If you don't want to have a physical presence at all, that's okay too. Just do all digital. You can do an all digital game. There will be plenty of games that are no game key cards and it's just you download on your Switch. So there's probably going to be a lot like that too. None of the games that we know right now are using DLSS. Do I think this stays at 450? Yes, I do think it stays at 450. That's how the PS5 play, PS4 physical games. The PS5, PS4 physical games are still on the disc. The data's still there, so you don't need the internet to install the game on there. The reason why there's a big difference is because you need the internet for the game key card. Now, yes, once the game is already downloaded or already installed, right, on your hard drive, it is very similar to a PS4 game or a PS5 game physical, where it uses that key to unlock you playing, which is different from a digital game where there is no key. Once you download it, it's locked to your account, whatever, that's that, right? But with the game key card, it's a digital game that poses like a physical game, that fakes it, like fake it to make it. It's all or nothing this time around. It's not, hey, here's a download code in a box. Oh, here's a partial cartridge. A lot of these guys that are sitting here and going nuts about game key cards literally don't even talk about the Switch 1 process. They don't give you the background information on the cartridge sizes. They don't give you the information on what's going on, like what happened. They just want you to be angry about something. They don't know because they don't research, because they don't play Switch 1 games. They don't play the games. They don't care about the games. They don't care about it. It's just they want to rage bait you into being mad about something. Now, listen, I don't like the game keys either, but I will give you the accurate information on the game keys, and I will give you the accurate information on why. Now, it's your decision whether you want to do it or not, but I'm not going to grift or I'm not going to rage bait you. I don't like it. I want all physical. 100%. I want everything to be all physical 100% on there. But I will give you guys the background and history on why it is and why it's happening. You know, a greater understanding will help you actually make a better choice, more so than, I hate this, it's raging, they're doing this, they're fake. That's nonsense. Tell us the reason why. Tell us the reason why it is the way that it is, and not a stupid reason like they're just greedy. That's stupid. That's lazy. Lazy. Here's the reason why they're doing this. I don't like it, but that's the reason why. The game sizes are really big. They never figured out cartridge sizes. Remember, on the Switch 1, the maximum cartridge size was 32 gigabytes. They tested 64, but it never really worked. It was too expensive. They'd be an arm and a leg. So they did 32. That was the maximum size. You guys want to know how many games run a 32 gigabyte cartridge? Remember, any size over 16 gigabytes must go to a 32. So if your game is 18 gigabytes in size, tough luck. You got to get a 32 gigabyte cartridge, right? It goes by increments of doubling. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Game keys? No, we don't. Regular physical games, we appreciate those. But they go in those increments. 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32, 64. Now in 64, they added it. But on Switch 1, they were up to 32. There's only a handful of games that I can count off the top of my head. The Witcher 3, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, or Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2, but only the Asian version of the game, not the US version. The US version of the game comes with Final Fantasy 10 on cart, and then Final Fantasy 10-2 on a digital code. So kind of Final Fantasy 10/10-2. And there might be another game, I think Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch. That game might, not 11, but 1. Those are the games that I can think off the top of my, let me know in the chat if there's something else that I missed, but those are the games off the top of my head that I know that have a 32 gigabyte cartridge. You wonder why there was so, because it's too expensive. That's the reason why. That's the reason why we saw a lot of like Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat 11, the Borderlands collection, BioShock collection. There are a number of games that are incomplete on cart that have a small cart size and then make you download the rest of the game. So that's the reason why. I don't like it, but that's the reason why, because the prices of the carts are not the same prices. Like an 8 gigabyte cart is the same price as like a disc. Think about that. If you want a cart, an equivalent price is like an 8 gigabyte cart. So even at a 16 gigabyte cart, you might be losing on the production compared to a like a Blu-ray disc, right? And 16 gigabytes is a very small amount of space compared to how big these games are in today's day. So that's the reason why they're like, hey, look, we can do these game key cards. We don't have to worry about having any types of, gigabyte size or partial downloads. We'll just do this. And if you want to get it, you get it. If not, you can do the all digital route, or you can just not get it at all. Like I said, I don't like it though, but I'm giving you guys the actual factual information and logic behind it, so you guys can make your own decision. Damn, game share only works locally. What about game lending virtual cards? That's something that I don't know about. Game game lending and game share is very different. Game share is you're taking your game that you're playing and you're letting someone else play it, like usually like a multiplayer game. Game lending is like if you have a digital game, you can lend the game out to someone else. These physical game key cards should not work with the game lending program because it operates as a physical game, not a digital game. They shouldn't. Now, maybe will Nintendo allow it? Maybe, but I don't think so. But we'll have to wait and see because game lending, that's very different. Those are two different things. Nintendo did show a game lending program where like if you have a digital game, you can let someone borrow that game. But I don't think game key cards will work with that because it's not a digital game. It doesn't operate like a digital game, you know? The virtual cards only allow lending to other person that's local Wi-Fi, so I can't let my brother who's out of state borrow a game for 2 weeks. If the game's digital, then yes. But if the game's physical, then no. Like if you want to lend the game to someone, it needs to be a digital game, not a physical game. Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 in Japan was the first 32 GB game, by the way. Yes, it was, because that was like a launch game, wasn't it? You should do a vid on 32 GB games. Maybe. That'd be actually a good idea. Do you think we might see some game key cards in the certain regions, but in Japan and Asia be fully on cart? That is possible. Yes, it's possible. Because we have seen like Asia, right? We saw what's it called? Final Fantasy 10/10-2. That was fully on cart in Asia and then not fully on cart in the US. So I do think it's possible that maybe one region, if the shipping or whatever manufacturing is cheaper, they will do it in that region, but then everywhere else gets like a game key. Yeah, that is possible. Let's see. The internet grifting is freaking annoying. Movie YouTube is an absolute joke now. Yeah, I feel you agree, Ninja. We're here to get you guys accurate information.
Parties won't do an upgrade pack because I think Sonic X Shadow is just the game on Switch 2. No mention on an upgrade pack.
Third parties might do yes, I do think third parties will do upgrade packs. I think because like, yeah, they can sell the same game. I think third parties will repackage and put their games on physical game carts. If it's a smaller game, for sure. I think developers they'll do that, and they'll make upgrade packs available too, because they can get $10 extra, you know, for doing like a little bit of work. Let's see. I appreciate your takes with audience size. No problem, Blue Gamer. Thank you for coming out to the stream. You do it. Do you think we might see some games that... Okay, I already read that one. Sorry. And no problem, Jeffrey. How long do you think until we get special editions of Switch 2? I think we'll definitely see a special edition of the Switch 2 sometime this year. But it could be next year. I have the Japanese Breath of the Wild with all the DLC. Hopefully that's still upgradable for the US. It is. So, games are region-free overall. WH agent. They're region-free. So since they're region-free, you'll be able to upgrade. You can buy and upgrade anything, and the language will just switch. So, yeah, you're good. Unless you buy the Japanese-only Nintendo Switch, like the region-locked Nintendo Switch, that's cheaper in Japan, which I don't think you're going to buy that one, so. Hey, what's up, Elias? Shout out to Deported Civilian with the $2. Says, can you lend me your Switch 2 pre-order? Thanks, fam. I don't have a Switch 2 pre-order. I don't have one. So yeah. And if I'm wrong on anything, guys, like if you guys find out later if I said something and I'm wrong on it, let me know and correct me, and I will promptly correct myself on the next stream, you know, or whenever. You can lend your game key card to anyone who want for an amount of time. That's true. Exactly. Flight. I should have actually, that's a very good point, Flightus. I should have added that. If you want to lend your game key to someone else, you can lend your game key card to someone else. So let's say Jeffrey Tucker, your brother's in town, or your brother's somewhere, and you want to just ship it to him overnight, you know, or whatever the case is, and like get that game key to him so he can play. You can do that. Or if he's by your place or whatever, you want to drive it over to his house or whatever the case is, he can play. It's not tied to your account. So anybody that wants to play the game, they gotta do the same process. It doesn't automatically work, but you gotta put it into your Switch, and then you gotta download the game, and then it boots and it does a DRM check. It does do a DRM check one time, and then after it does it that one time, you don't have to do it anymore. It's on the first boot up of the game on the system. When can we expect the new Animal Crossing? I mean, Animal Crossing games are usually like 7-year or so development cycles from the last one. So Animal Crossing New Horizons came out in 2020. We are now 5 years, so we can probably expect one in 2027. That's when I would expect Animal Crossing. Maybe 2026 they announce it, and then 2027 it releases. Shout out to Deported Civilian. Thank you for the $2 dono, though. Appreciate you. Even though they got canceled, I managed to secure 3 Switch 2 off Amazon, so they shouldn't be too hard as long as you're online when they drop. So yeah, people were trying to, you know, from different countries try to secure, you know, Switch 2 orders, and they canceled them, so unfortunate, but yeah. My copies of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are physical. You should be good though, Ryan. If your copies are physical, you can do the upgrade pack, and you should be good. Civ 7 has an upgrade pack. Okay, Civ 7 has an upgrade pack. They also have a game that's they have a native Switch 2 version as well. So yeah, you can do the upgrade pack, or you can just buy it outright. How much are the expansions for Switch 2 versions of the game? Yeah, they vary, right? So they're usually $10. So Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, those are $10. If you have the NSO plus expansion pack, it's no additional cost if you have those. Now, for Kirby, which adds DLC, or for Mario Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, those are $20 because you're getting DLC and you're getting the upgrade. So if you're getting DLC plus the upgrade, it's going to be $20. If you're just getting an upgrade, that's usually just graphics, performance, graphics, and maybe some slight new features here and there, some new things, little quality of life stuff, then it's going to be $10. From what we understand now, then that could change, but from right now, that's what it looks like it's going to be. So Pokemon Legends ZA, that looks like it, I mean, I don't know if that's going to be a $20 one or not, but it looks like it might just be a $10 one. So $10 one for Pokemon Legends, $10 for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, $10 for Zelda Breath of the Wild, $10 for Tears of the Kingdom, and then for Kirby, that's going to be $20, and for the Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, that's going to be $20, because you get DLC plus the upgrade pack. Do you know if the Lexar Express micro SD cards are good? Everyone's buying them, but people necessarily don't love the Lexar brand. People like SanDisk or whatever, or Samsung more. So, do I think tariffs will be a long-term issue for gamers? Yes, I think tariffs will be a long-term issue in the future. Tariffs, they're already going to be. Anything from China, there's that. So it's already going to affect different products from China coming in for gamers. And I do think that we have someone that's in the office that's really trying to really shake things up, and try to make his mark before he leaves. So I do think that there will be a big shakeup. There will be price jumps. The next PS6 will be much more expensive. I think the PS6 could be up to $800 to $900 for the PS6. I think the next Xbox could be up to $600, $700. I think that there's going to be price jumps on everything. I think that obviously different. Look at the price jumps already in South America, and in Brazil, and we've got price jumps for PSN. We already got price hikes because of the nature of things that are happening, even potentially predicting tariffs and things like that. So yeah, it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect gamers worldwide. Absolutely. It's not going to get any cheaper. Notice how we had price jumps. We had price hikes for things. Usually as the generation goes on, the systems get cheaper. No, Switch didn't get a single price drop in terms of the base models. Not a single one. PS5 is upped in price in multiple different regions. They've actually went up in price. Xbox has went up in price in Japan. I mean, it's not getting cheaper, it's getting more expensive. So yeah, that's just what's happening right now. The market is, I wouldn't say we're cooked, but we are. You ever been to Red Lobster, Pink? And like they grab the lobster out of there, and like the lobster, you feel bad for it. I've never eaten that. I don't eat lobster when I go to Red Lobster because I feel bad for the lobster, because they grab the lobster out of there, and like they definitely grabbed us, and we're like hovering over the hot water. But I think that that's a terrible way to die. I think that that's just so sad. I think that's inhumane. I'm not like a crazy PETA advocate and stuff like that, but I mean, like, I obviously,
think I know the answer, but do you think I could use a game voucher for ZA and then do the upgrade pack?
Yes, you can. You will be able to do a game voucher and then do an upgrade pack. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to do that. Yes. Thank you, Justin, for the 3. I think you'll be able to. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you, because if you buy the voucher and you have Pokemon Legends Z8 on the Switch 1, and then you do the upgrade, that upgrades it. That's a Switch 1 game that you can upgrade. So yes, you should be able to. Yep. But anyway, yes, like I was saying, shout outs to Justin and Caitlin. We are definitely hovering over the hot boiled water, and it's very sad to see a lobster boiled alive. It's very sad. I don't like it. So I don't eat lobster at Red Lobster. If I go, I eat something else. Just rewatched the part of Nintendo's Treehouse event, and they said that Switch 2 Edition upgrade packs are available for NSO Plus. Switch upgrade packs are available for NSO Plus expansion for 2 games. Select. So we're talking Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Not all the ones. So you're not going to get Metroid Prime. You're not going to, at least not right now from what we know. You're not going to get Metroid Prime. You're not going to get Jamboree TV or Jamboree plus Jamboree TV. You're not going to get Kirby. What you're going to get is Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. You're going to get those 2. Now, they might add in more, but for right now, those are the 2 that we get. Now, those games are launch, so maybe they're looking to see if you get them with other stuff. They want to announce those later. But for right now, we have no release date for Pokemon Legends ZA. We have no release date for Metroid Prime. So I think they might announce that those, yes, are also plus expansion pack. You get those for no additional cost. But right now, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are launch day games. Those are launch games for the Switch 2. So they have announced you get those. Now, they could add in the other ones, but for right now, they're not in. Let's see here. How is Kirby's file size smaller on Switch 2 even with the added DLC? Yes. Kirby's file size is smaller on Switch 2 because of added DLC because of optimization. So they've been able to go in and optimize the game better than what it was. And this goes back to what we talked about with the stronger hardware, better tools, different things. They found ways to cut and convert it and then put it out while they were doing their graphics update. So for example, Baldur's Gate 3, when they were developing for the Xbox Series S, they were able to find some optimizations that helped all the games out when it comes to different things. And when you work on new hardware, you find new optimizations, you find different processes and tools and different things that you can do to make things a bit better. Now, usually, yes, the file size will go up because you're having increased resolution, you're having increased assets and all that. But sometimes you find processes and streamline things to where it actually makes it to where it's more efficient and you're able to compress it better than you did originally the first time around. So that's the reason why Kirby is probably a little bit smaller. Let's see here. It says, bro, how do you know so? Because I'm a bootlicking, corporate, no good for nothing shill that just sits here and bootlicks 24/7 like someone. No, I know because it's my job, so I study it. I on my off time before I go to sleep, I rewatch the directs. I look through the websites, I jot down notes, I think about it, I type, I literally make it my job to know about it. I make it my job to seek information. I also think going to college helped me seek information better. I think when I was younger, I wasn't quite as good as an information seeker, but when I got to college, I was you're paying for it. High school, I was like a whatever student, I was just like whatever, I don't care. I was smart enough to just get by. But college, you're paying for it. So I had to really try in college. So that was the first time that I really felt like I became like a researcher, was college. Because you have to. You're paying for it, So I started researching more, and I think it helped me with this job that I have now because you got to research in college. I did kinesiology and I did communication. Kinesiology, you got to work with kids. You got to work with people on learning how to be healthy and all that. Communication, you got to talk to people a lot. So both of those kind of helped me. And I kind of honed things over the course. I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years. 2010, I graduated college in 2009. So 2010, I've been doing this since 2010, just making YouTube videos. So yeah. Kirby sucked up a gigabyte. He just said, wah! He just took care of it. But you guys also helped me out a lot too. It's not like I'm not trying to sit there and toot my horn and act like you guys have given me invaluable information. Monado Mario comes here and drops extra information for me. Huddy, Party Man, Chupa, a lot of you guys have given me information. And when you actually are a consumer advocate and you actually are someone who vouches for the people, you learn from what they have. I also watch other content creators that have information. Even if I disagree with them, my first inclination is not to bash them or bash their opinion about every single thing. I listen to what they have to say, and then if they say something stupid, then I'm like, whatever, I can do that. But I also listen to other people. Like I'm on a podcast every single week for the last 7-8 years with John, and John's incredibly knowledgeable about the video game industry. RGT is misclicked, so I've learned from my friends and from my colleagues in gaming as well over the course of years. So it's not just me, it's also you guys. You guys help me out a lot, and my friends and my colleagues also help me out learning, like picking up information. The lending program is perfect for members only streams. Any member of the channel rent your games for a certain amount of time. Set amount. Oh yeah, that might be something that we can do. Did Nintendo mention that vouchers are not allowed to Switch 2? Yes, vouchers will not work on Switch 2. They only work on Switch 1. I don't know if they're going to have a new voucher system or anything, but they did mention that vouchers will not work on Switch 2. You will still be able to maybe use a voucher, then get an upgrade pack. I mean, that might work, but actually getting the game from Switch 2, that won't work. I drop locale information. No shout out. All right, that's true. You do drop locale information. I got to give you some credit on there. Huddy says, what's your most anticipated Switch 2 game? And what's your plan on playing Prime 4 with your first person vertigo issues? Yeah, good question. My most anticipated game, it's kind of hard because I'm looking forward to so many games. But probably my most anticipated is Mario Kart World or like Donkey Kong Bonanza. And in terms of Metroid Prime 4, I'm going to be taking Dramamine. So I'm going to try to sit further away. I'm going to be taking Dramamine, but I do think that the 120 frames will help. I think that the lower, 60 frames is still super smooth, but if I'm playing the game at 120 frames, and if I'm sitting this far away from like my chair to my TV, and I got a big OLED, you know what I'm saying, and I'm sitting far away, and I have my Dramamine and I have my water ready, I think I'll be able to quell that. But I think the 120 frames will help a lot. I think it really will, but we'll see. Everybody is wrong about FF16 sales. What was that, Mixlone? Motion blur. Sometimes motion blur makes it worse for me. But yeah, sometimes it can help too. Hey, what's up, the cool guy? Hoping for Resident Evil 5 and 6 fully on cart, but Capcom not so sure if it'll happen. Yeah, they never put anything on cart. They did a 4, 5, and 6 on Switch 1, and like literally none of it was on. I think like one game was on cart, or like none of it was on cart. I think they even did like Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, and I think they did like a pack, and that wasn't even on the cart. Like both games weren't on the cart, so I don't know. Legitimately 120 frames could help significantly. Yeah, it really could. Like, it really could. But, like, the problem for me is, like, when I play, like Doom Eternal on Switch 1, bro, like, even Doom on Switch 1, like, it was fun, but I'm like, the frame rate combined with, like, the low res at times, it was crazy impressive at the time, but I couldn't necessarily go through the game. I just, with the turning and all that, it just made me, I was like, I'm good, you know? Sometimes, like, when I play PS4 and Xbox One games, even at the higher frame rate, there's just something that makes it not great for me. So maybe Metroid Prime, they zoomed out the camera a little bit in Metroid Prime, and maybe with the 120 frames, that might help out, or with the portable mode, that could help out. Yeah, they aren't discounting vouchers, they're just essentially saying that they don't work on Switch 2. RE4 was on cart, had to download the other games with the code, there you go. Like I was saying, like, so, like, next time, like, we're probably going to get a game key card that has Resident Evil, 4, 5, and 6 on the Switch 2 or something like that. Or they might just leave, or we might get a game key card that has, like, Resident Evil Ultimate Pack. And you get, like, maybe Resident Evil 7 and 8 on one game key card. Because I know they want to release Resident Evil 7 and 8 on the Switch, because those are cloud games, if I'm not correct. So I know they want to release those native. So they'll do, like, a digital version, and they'll do, like, a pack. They're going to repackage Resident Evil. Resident Evil's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if Resident Evil comes this year. I don't know what Resident Evil games will come, but I think that we're going to get Resident Evil. I would love to see an actual cart, though, for Resident Evil 4. Like, if they Resident Evil 4 remake, I will pay the $70. If they do Resident Evil 4 remake on an actual 64GB cart, I will pay the $70 for that, Capcom, if they do that. I don't think they will, but if they do, I'll pay it. Because I haven't replayed Resident Evil 4 remake specifically because I felt that it would come to Switch 2, and I want to be able to play that on Switch 2. So I have not played it again yet. Let's see here. We already know that we're getting Switch 2 editions free upgrades for Xenoblade Chronicles games. Xenoblade Chronicles X shown in the screenshot on the eShop. How long do you think we have to wait for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to get one? I'm not sure, because they might want to do Nintendo Switch 2 editions, so I don't know if they want to plan Switch 2 editions or if they want to just plan free updates. Zero. Shout out to Zero. You've been here for a very long time. Thank you for sticking with me despite how stubborn I am at times on Twitter and everything. Thank you for being here for so long. I think you've been here since Smash Ultimate or before that? I know you've been here for a while, so thank you for sticking with me, man. I appreciate you. Hopefully you're doing good, you and the fam. I don't know if you have any kids yet or anything. I don't think you had kids when we first started talking. I'm not sure if you have kids now or anything, but hopefully you and your family, friends, and everybody's good. RE4 best remake ever. It's definitely a very good remake. I can definitely agree with that. It's a very, very, very good remake. I agree. It's awesome. Shout outs though. All right, but I think we went a little bit over on time, guys. I went crazy with the AMA. We'll have another AMA on JoJo Friday. We'll have more AMAs. We'll be pretty much doing Ask Me Anythings because we'll all forget stuff. So we'll do more AMAs as more information comes out, and I'll do more if you guys just want me to re-answer questions because we just blew right through the 3 hours. So I want to say thank you guys so much. We went really good, and thank you to all the donos today. Shout outs to Caitlin and Justin, Cyber T, Deported Sicilian. Thank you guys so much. Jono, thank you guys to all the Elite Ninjas and members here in the chat. Shout outs to Echidna, Ben S, Greg, Jumpmon, Super Christian Me World, Sonic Slim, JD Scream, Crispy Tofu, Big Dill, Drop the Price. Appreciate that. CR Worlds, Christian Me World, let's go. Shinru, Dean. So yeah, man, shout outs. I never read Dean's message. Dean with the $1 says, morning, OJ, I live in Japan right now. The impact of Nintendo looking out for people making a Japan only Switch 2 is huge. Switch 2 will be 4,000 or 49,000 yen, which is PS5 is 79,000 yen. People are calling it anti-consumer, but ignoring winning moves like this. Yes, because it's not their market. Thank you so much, Dean. I appreciate it. Sorry, Dean. Next time that you come here, I gotta make sure that I give you a shout out for that. Thank you. Mongunzo, thank you so much for the support too, man. Cyber T with the big dono. The leading program is perfect for members only stream. Any member of the channel can rent the games for free for a certain amount of time. I'm gonna get sent something like that from my channel. Okay, yeah, that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. Yeah, we might have to set that up. But all right, guys. Pierre Escargo. Yo, Otto, I can't forget Pierre Escargo. Bag and sag and berry. Bag and sag and berry. Say what? Bag and sag and berry. Bag and sag and berry. Also only mention Japan when it's their narrative. Yeah. Shout outs to Ralphie, my man. It's your boy Ralphie, big man. Yo, let's go. Oh my God, y'all showing some love at the end here. Y'all showing some love at the end here. Hold up.
Since I am going to miss tomorrow night,
okay,
will you hit me with a JoJo Friday animation just one time?
I got you. I'm gonna get you with the nicest JoJo Friday animation. Let's do it. You guys all get ready. Everybody get your poses ready. We'll do a community JoJo Friday. I'm gonna need to see the hand over the face, whatever JoJo pose you want to do. But we're gonna get a JoJo Friday right now for Cyber T. All right, I'm gonna hit the button in 3, 2, 1, and go. The JoJo. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Big love to Cyber T. We out here. Thank you for the JoJo Friday on Thursday. Let's go. Shout outs, guys. Love y'all so much. Thank you guys for dealing with me. Yes, hit that like button before you go. Hit that like button. 300 plus likes. Yo, we out here. We goated, baby. We are goated. Thank you guys for the new members. Aries EMS, Bead Queen dropping memberships. It's your boy Ralphie. Cyber Taurus killing it right now. He's not going to be here tomorrow, but don't worry. We're going to still have a great stream. Shout out to my man Cyber Taurus. Take care of the family. Take care of your families, guys. Everybody be good. God bless. Love you guys. Love everybody here. And I will see you guys tomorrow to answer your questions, to give you guys the right answers, to give you guys the right information, to not rage bait you, and to let you make your own decisions on a consumer. Good or bad, we discuss it all here. We talk about it all here, and nobody's opinion on what they want to get or not is stupid, because you guys are all consumers, you guys are all adults, and you guys make all of your own decisions. Real ones, real consumer advocates, let their audience know that. It's not about me and myself. It's about everybody and what the best is for every individual and what you want to do. So that's what we preach here. That's what we're about here. And we're going to continue being about the truth and being accurate here. So clip that. Let that be known. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys later.